Achieved with CryEngine.
Yeah?
Hi.
How come you're alone?
I'm just alone. It happens. Some people just can't bear the thought of being here with me. It's too much. It's too much for them. Crimson Eye, they can't take it.
Or
I
are you
understand.
hiding too deep in the void that's so dark they cannot find you dark?
I know. And it's scary in here. Oh
You
my
should have like
gosh.
a big giant cyber say, I'm here, you know? That model is here.
Yep, I'm here. I'm here. Things that go bump in the night.
Mm-hmm. Have you thought of opening a small pub so people can hang out?
What's that?
A small bar like that? Have you think of open a small bar, a mini bar, so people can hang out, have some
Oh,
drinks
yeah.
while
Yeah.
chilling?
It should all be with black light lit, ultraviolet paints and stuff.
I'm not too sure about the black light, but yeah,
Make it really groovy.
sounds like an idea. Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's now special LED that actually can mix like what gray color. There's way to do it now, not like the old times.
Yeah. The 60s are coming back. I saw somebody wearing jeans with a bunch of flower patches sewn on, like a whole bunch of flowers on each pant leg down below the knee, and some of them were embroidered on and stuff. That was today.
Oh,
And it's like, okay, if they were bell bottoms, we'd actually, be in the 60s. I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick play here
yeah,
to start my stream.
something always came back once in a while. I think I saw somebody show a photo of how does a electric fan looks like back in the like 19s, like the early 19s. It was like I think it was made of bronze
Warning.
with two I think no three rotors. So two, one left, one right is doing the fan spinning, and then one in the middle doing the twisting. So it will go 360 degree, but like the fans on like the left and right side of the thing. It's a very interesting piece of machine back in the old days.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it looks like post what's that thing called again? The design post friction. Oh, shit. Gosh, sometimes people are driving crazy nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You alright?
I am. Yeah. I'm probably not going to be streaming very long. I was worried about Corsair. His mom fell last night, and they had tornadoes and knocked the power out until 7 p.m. tonight, and she's not doing
Oh
well. And
no.
he's hardly had any sleep because she's only sleeping for an hour or two at a time, and then waking up for an hour or two. So he's
Yeah,
exhausted,
that
and
doesn't sound great at all.
she's not doing real well. So that's hard.
Yeah, it is hard, man. It is hard. Oh well, things happen.
Yep. Getting old's for the birds.
I just hope the tornado will be over soon. But I know this year's weather is quite rough.
I don't know how often they get tornadoes in Texas, but this is like not the first time this winter.
It's quite often because based on the landscape and then the lacking of the
In
trees, you know.
Texas?
Yeah,
All right,
Dark. You
I'm
need
gonna
to have
check.
like a heavy forestation to prevent the wind to gushing your country to mess things up. If you have enough trees, like my place right now, there's barely a
Okay,
tornado can
it
happen.
says here they're pretty frequent. It says Texas averages 137 tornadoes each year.
That's a lot.
The highest number of any state in the U.S. I had no idea. I thought some other states had more tornadoes. Most common during spring and summer months nationwide, but due to Texas's proximity to the Gulf of Mexico as a moisture source, tornadoes can occur in south of Texas anytime. I had no idea. Then there's counties that are worse, probably the ones closer to the Gulf, I imagine. Wow.
Well, my country is like what, the 5th in the world with like average 43 lightning strike per year hitting the ground every year.
Of tornadoes hitting or?
No, lightning strike. It's like
lightning
a
strikes.
huge. Yeah, it's not the small one. It's like the one you can hear it even you are like far away.
How
miles
many
away, you
per
still
year?
hear it.
Lightning storms? Hey Drax.
Minimum 48 a year.
Sorry, Drax texted me. 148?
Nah, for just 48.
48. Oh, 48's not that much. We get lightning strikes here in Oregon way more than that every year.
I know.
But we have mountain ranges and stuff, and that tends to, move a lot of air and create a lot of static generation.
Yeah. It used to be more than 100, but the number has slowly dropped now because due to this, I don't know, man, due to maybe the weather has changed, the humid has changed, everything changed.
Yeah.
It used to be more.
I don't know. I mean, we're not, Oregon's not in a drought. Hey, Tiger Dad. Uh-oh. Hang on. I'm not being a
I don't know. I just feel like
streamer.
maybe my government is not doing the proper calculation because like the closest encounter I ever had was like what, less than 20 feet away from me, and it was like I think I was almost felt like hitting by the bombshell because I had lost hearing for like at least 10 to 20 seconds. I can hear a thing.
Wow. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's super loud.
Yeah, and my eye went like black for like 3 seconds.
So you blacked out.
I can't see anything.
Oh, you just blinded.
Yeah, I was still.
Wow.
I was blinded by it. Yeah, and the thing was so loud I can still remember to this day.
Man, so, I've got a friend that was struck by lightning.
Oh, that's not an awesome experience.
And they were, knocked down on the ground and stunned, and they were able to get up, and it didn't kill them, obviously.
No, for funny reasons, when people get lightning strike, right, usually their feet is on the ground, so the lightning will pass them through, like really quick.
Yeah, but
as long it's not like
if it passes through you and jolts through your heart, that's not good for your heart, right?
Funny thing, a lot of people actually survive.
I know, it's just kind of surprising.
Most of the time.
And the craziest part is they will leave a tree branch mark on your body, like a tattoo, but much tan color.
Hi, gunfighter.
Most of the time, when someone gets struck by lightning.
I can't, hang on, you're too quiet. There's big explosions. I have to turn you up. Hang on.
I'll be stop, buddy.
Okay, most of the time what?
When someone is struck by lightning,
target spotted.
They're wet.
My friends weren't wet. They were just walking in they were in a field out in the woods. It wasn't raining and they weren't wet.
You're not listening.
Target spotted.
I said most of the time.
Yeah, I'm just saying in this case that wasn't the case.
By lightning, they're wet. Thus, it goes around the body like a Faraday.
Oh, and follows the water. Interesting.
Yeah.
Target spotted.
Oh yeah. Check. I checked the ghost lance. This here was the other day.
Target spotted.
Hang on, I'm in the middle of battle. I can't check anything.
Heat level critical.
Target spotted.
Heat level critical.
Oh shoot.
On the 8th, that's right. Yeah, the 8th.
Target spotted.
Tune you up to how can I tune you up with my
Target
phone?
spotted.
Gee,
We're experiencing some losses. Don't get sloppy out there.
I mean,
It's been raining a lot around here. Lots of windies and storms.
Target spotted.
okay, got you. Now I raise your volume. I can hear you much better now. So yeah, I mean, lightning storm. Other than you getting wet, if
Target
you
spotted.
have built up a lot of static charge, you also will be the target for the lightning strike, which is
Target
quite often in
spotted.
our places.
Airstrike
We
online.
tend to have people get struck by lightning.
The funny
Target
thing
spotted.
is, a lot of lightning,
Fuel at
this
25%.
converted lightning doesn't come from the sky down to the earth. The earth comes from the earth to the sky.
True, kind of
We
true.
lost half our force.
But
Can't lose
they
any
still
more
need the
soldiers.
first initiative from the sky first to do the electron
Oh
exchange.
man, we are getting creamed.
I've had close hits. I've had hits, lightning strikes, and with my gas stove, the other blew a fireball
Target
out
spotted.
from a
It
lightning
did,
strike.
man. I mean, it is a discharge. It's more like an electron and neutron discharge. So
Right
you're definitely
torso
getting bad.
critical damage.
I saw one which is people was playing football match in the rain, and then the lightning just strike one side of which is a metal rod, and then everyone just
Heat
like
level critical.
fall down, fall apart. They all got stuck.
25% of the enemies are eliminated.
Heat level.
We're taking
It was
critical
crazy,
losses.
and we had to
We
drag
need you to
everyone out
pull
from the
through.
field. It was kind of nuts.
I died. We're getting
Believe it or
creamed.
not,
Mm-hmm.
believe it or not, most people that are struck
Right
by
arm
lightning
critical
live.
damage. Left arm
Yeah,
discharged.
that's
Yeah,
what
they
I've
do.
heard. That's kind of amazing.
90%. Because the only thing is if unless you have a lot of charge building up in your body, that you get cooked because they need to do the exchange of electrons and neutrons. If otherwise, they will just go past you. You are just a conductor for them, and it's like an instant. So most of the time you just get passed out. It will not kill you, but you get knocked out, passed out most of the time, and you feel some burn sensation later on. But most of the time you'll be fine. As long it does not hit something that's not supposed to, like what I went through, you'll be fine. Yeah.
I've seen more guys.
Unless you're telling me it's like a 10 feet wide lightning strike, yeah, you gotta run for that. You have to run for that one. That one definitely is going to kill you.
I've seen more people struck by static charges from choppers. Right.
Yeah,
So
Going for
you guys
pickup
were
because
flying
they
in air,
reach
right?
instead of letting the hook hit the water, they reach for it.
Oh,
And they
and then
take
it
the
grounds
whole
through them.
Yeah. and I've actually been knocked for a loop before.
This says here that
Um,
10% of people struck by
up there.
lightning die, while the remaining 90% experience some degree of disability. Up to 74% survivors may have permanent disabilities. Most
Yeah.
deaths occur within an hour caused by respiratory failure or fatal heart arrhythmia.
Yes, like I said,
Wow.
Derek, 90% of the time you'll be safe because
Well, yeah, but not
if
safe.
you
That's
happen to have
74% of those people that live have permanent disabilities. So I wouldn't say safe. I'd say you have a 90% chance of living and a 20% chance of being, or 15% chance of having no after effects at all. That's what that stat looks
now
like.
again,
Yee.
it depends what kind of lightning hit you, how big was it, and
Well, sure, but
are
they're just
you
giving
having
the
a lot of,
statistics. Like in the U.S.,
I
300
know,
are struck by
but
lightning every year.
and it's not like they have a full report on the whole thing. It's not every case,
Oh, and this says that there's
and because
50
some cases
lightning
was never reported.
fatalities per year, so that's a lot more than 10%.
Like I say,
That's more like
it might be
20%
more than
almost.
300 lightning per year. So if you claim your Oregon has more than 100 lightnings per year already, which means your overall country might have having 1,000 over. Because I don't know, I used to live near the beach, so when we have thunderstorm, the lightning is crazy.
I'm surprised any of
And
us
not
are
to
still
mention, last time
alive.
there was. I'm surprised I was alive under that one there. It was like crazy huge. Everyone heard the loud bang.
But
Not to
you said
mention,
it
there was
didn't.
another time
You
there
said
was
it didn't hit you directly, right? Hey, Great Wolf.
no, but it was like not too far from me. If it was a direct hit, I'm pretty sure I'm toast. I'm a chuck already.
I've got to catch up on chat here. Hang on. Gunfight, are you joining me?
Oh, I guess I could.
Okay, I'll create a group.
Let me log in. Then.
Alaskan cruise. Great Wolf's going on a lot. 15 days. Nice. My mom and dad went on Alaskan cruise. They really liked it.
Alaska cruise was great. My friend went also.
Yeah.
Yeah, it cost about 40 grand USD per trip.
I'm neutral towards cruise. My wife chose this trip. As long as there's limitless crab, I'm in. Food poisoning scares me, right?
I mean,
not just food poisoning, Drax, but like lots of diseases are incubated in those metal, traveling
it's more like food coma
petri dishes.
if you have too much of those.
Oh, talking about crab and stuff the other day. My niece made a boil.
I mean, we actually also eat a lot of crabs, but I'm
And
just
mud bugs
kind of
and
allergic to
crab
soft shell creatures. So I can't have those goodies.
and shrimps, and potatoes. And
Nope, no shrimp for
sausage.
me.
I like shrimp.
I
I like
can't
the
have
bigger,
shrimp.
the bigger the better. Big jumbo prawns.
You like mud bugs?
We have that too. And we have crayfish. But I think the most people still love lobster over all that. Like, I don't know, man.
It's so dark. Do you like mud bugs?
I don't know what mud bugs are.
What? You don't know what mud bug is?
Nah.
My. That's terrible. Oh, me, no shot. Oh, no, I don't know what mud bug is. They're freshwater, like the little freshwater lobsters.
Isn't that the crayfish?
Yeah.
But the big
mud
ones,
bug,
right?
yeah. There, I put a picture up from the other day. Close to where I live. It's in the the Ghostland Spec Op.
Come on, traffic lights. Really? You have to give me a red just I was about to cross. Yeah. Yep.
Where are you crossing?
I'm on the way back to my home after having some tasty lunch today. Some fulfilling lunch.
Oh.
Yep, a Taiwanese braised pork meat with rice, and then I order 2 half-boiled eggs. Sorry, soft-boiled eggs. So yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
You just go get all the fun stuff, huh?
I do. I mean, eggs is better than a lot of things. People don't realize how good is egg.
Well, I
How
made
nutrition are good.
for breakfast this morning. I made omelet with chives, garlic, and cheese.
Ooh. Nice.
I
And
thought
chives
so.
garlic is pretty decent.
Roommate
You
even
could have
enjoyed
if you guys can have access to like the Chinese store, get the green onions. I mean the spring onions, and then grow some in your own house. It's easy to grow.
Oh, Yeah, my green beans are coming up.
Yes.
They're doing really good. And the tomatoes they're sprouted
Mm-hmm.
up pretty good. Cucumbers are sprouting nice. The zucchinis are sprouting nice. My
Mm-hmm.
potatoes in the pot. The uh, the plants are as big as my leg. Oh,
Huh.
the radishes they pretty much gone to seed already. And well, the lettuce is pretty much uh, consumed mostly. Cilantro's doing well. Basil's coming up, and
Nice.
and the garlics haven't sprouted yet, but I'm gonna have to plant some other things, like some beets and some cantaloupes and stuff. But yeah. So what's Dark doing now anyway? Are we waiting on
I'm
someone
typing.
else?
Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well,
He's
that's
in middle
fine.
of the match now.
Yeah, Dark streaming, right? Ah, typing.
Yeah, he is. But not for long. He has to go to bed soon.
Well, I know
I
you
was
said
here
you're
much earlier today.
driving and stuff, so you know.
Well, I'm not supposed to
Okay,
drive
here we
and
go.
on with my phone, but I'm doing this. So, mm-hmm. Not always a law-abiding citizen.
That's only a couple miles away from me, Dark, but well within my vision. Hello,
I'm here. Oh, Corsair left. I mean, Crimson I left.
Crimson?
Yeah.
Well, you were typing, but now you didn't send anything.
I haven't I'm posting something. It's going to take a while to write. I just thought I'd do it. Oh, I was thinking of it.
Oh, oh, I see. You're writing an essay.
Yeah. I'm answering McFish's posts about Egyptian god Amun.
Which one?
Amun also said Amun, Amon, and Amen, Amun Ra, Ra the sun god, basically, right?
The dog-headed one.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So what about him?
Oh, well, Drax had read something about the Hebrew, the Hebrew phrase amen, having supposedly or possibly come from the Egyptian god named Amen. The two only look similar in English. They're not the same words
Yeah,
in the two
Hebrew.
different languages, and they're not from one another. One's not from the other. So amen in Hebrew, which means, so be it, or God's will be done, or, as God says, that is not the same as the Egyptian god Amen, and the Hebrews did not finish a prayer with citing the Egyptian god. That didn't happen. But people who don't look deeply think, oh, look, it says amen and amen, so it must be the same. And it's actually Amen, and spelled differently in 4 different ways, and it's really Ra, the sun god. And there was a pharaoh who commanded that everybody only worship Ra, but by and large, the Egyptian culture worshipped numerous gods all throughout history, and there was an attempt by one pharaoh to have them all worship one god, and that fizzled out and didn't happen, really. And that came after, historically it looks like, and now that we have enough archaeological evidence, that came after the exodus of the Hebrews, who did believe in one God. So it could be that their leaving spurred a brief uptick in a monotheistic God that then didn't stick.
Maybe.
But you
Who
can't.
knows?
Well, you
I mean,
can't. What you can't say with any kind of credibility is that the Hebrews stole monotheism from Egyptians. That didn't happen because they were there
Who's
in the
trying to
eighth.
say that?
That's what some scholars try to say. Joseph came into Egypt around the 18th century, and
Orion, let's see here. Isis, Orion, Amun-Ra.
so
Let's see.
look, Don. People always will take word and they will modify and put it into the dialects. Like my country, we have a short history, right?
yeah,
Even the Malay culture, their language, they just make it up. It wasn't even a thing for like a century ago. It was only recently for the past 50, 60 years. They start making things up. So they adapt to words. They pick it up from. Like because we used to be conquered by Japan, right?
yeah. What
So in
you'll
Japan,
find
there's a food
in the,
called,
go ahead. Sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt you. I just can't help myself sometimes.
it's
I'm trying not to interrupt you.
I know, I know. So I didn't realize this, but in our Malay word, there's a thing called chawan, which is a small cup of the teacups, right? I
Yeah,
didn't know it was a thing from Japan until I went to the Japan restaurant, a very traditional one.
yeah.
And they have this dish called chabamushi, which is a steamed raw egg with some nice garnish in the small cup. And they start with chawan. And I was like, wait a minute. So it came from there after I did some digging. So
Yeah.
they just took the word, they like it, and they just put it in their dictionary.
Yeah,
And
but
claim
in-
they invented. I was
yeah.
like,
But in this case, the words are not the same in the native language, so they didn't take the word from Egypt and use it. They never did. It never was.
yeah,
Someone
know.
has looked at the translation into English and said, "Oh, look, these look the same. They must have come from one of the other." But that's not the case.
Yep.
And so it's not that I'm
Yeah,
doubting
no.
that some
Let's see.
some cultures take stories and modify them from others. It's that in this case, that's just not. There's no evidence to show that that's the case. And monotheism with the Hebrews was in captivity for 480 years
Reactor
before the Exodus,
online.
and the Exodus took place
Sensors online.
right about the
Weapons
time
online.
that this Pharaoh
Systems
decided to say everybody had to worship Ra.
Fleet command coming in. Captain
Yeah,
But,
that-
but
that
he
particular
didn't. He
Pharaoh
didn't
is
say. He didn't say there are no other gods. He just said that Ra is the biggest god, and you have to worship him. So it wasn't monotheism at all. It was a supreme polytheism with with one supreme leader. So theologically, they're distinct and different than what the Hebrews believed, which was there is only one God, and the rest are made up.
Yeah.
And that's a big
Pharaoh
difference,
was-
and you find that only in the Hebrew culture is this monotheistic bent, and all other lands that they either fought with or conquered or were conquered by, Syria, Babylonia, Egypt, any of the superpowers or the small, like the Philistines, they all were
Airstrike
polytheistic.
online.
So monotheism arose
Already started
only
to make a dent.
and
Be sure to
originally
stop
from the Hebrew people, which is interesting.
Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, given the past 2,000 years, people have been using religious to gain power and control even our Asian China sometimes.
We are halfway to
It
defeat.
happens too.
What's your thoughts on the story of Noah being taken from the story of Gilgamesh?
Well, I think that there's over 300 cultures that have flood stories that are
Target
similar in
acquired.
many respects, if not at least a few, to the Noah biblical account. So it's a widespread believed account that something of some sort
Target spotted.
happened that was a flood related thing.
Target spotted.
The Epic of Gilgamesh and the like
Target spotted.
the Egyptian Assyrian creation story, which was the Enuma Elish. Sorry, I'm hard to talk and shoot mechs.
Okay.
Looks like it was written 400 years before Moses wrote Exodus. Okay, so it's 400 years previous, or maybe 200, depending on where you want to date the Egyptian timeline. But in any case, there's a similar account in the Enuma Elish that Moses would have known, being a prince of Egypt, right? And the Israelites would have known, growing up under captivity in Egypt, it would be the creation story they learned in captivity. And it's a much, much longer version, but it has a few similarities that are stark. It's like, oh, look, they stole this. The Israelites stole this. But they only stole a couple things, or a few things, and then what they did is really interesting. They took it from polytheism. Moses rewrote it from polytheism to monotheism, and from God creating lots of other gods to God creating the universe and all that there is in, and mankind and animals and everything else. And the order of the creative days changed, and which now match modern cosmology, actually, which is shocking since it was written thousands of years ago. And the whole thing is written as a polemic statement against everything that the Egyptians believed at the time. So, and it's much shorter, and it's in a poetic form of Hebrew writing structure. So the best guess is that I have from the research I've done and the classes I've taken from a guy who did his doctorate in this particular topic, is that when the Hebrews left Egypt in the Exodus, Moses wrote Genesis. That's pretty sure. And he took the Enuma Elish story that all the Egyptians would have learned growing up in captivity. He rewrote it as a worship song and made it stripped out all the polytheism, stripped out all the Egyptian theology, and made it uniquely Hebraic in its thing, and actually made it line up with what we know about how solar systems and planetary systems form today. And he did that without knowing that. So it shows some level, an incredible level of inspiration, if you start looking at what it's actually saying and what we know to be the case for how solar systems form. Pretty fascinating study. So the same thing then, you're talking about Noah. I don't know the direct comparisons to the flood from the Epic of Gilgamesh. I haven't really paid too much attention to that. The biblical flood, like I said, there's like 360 different cultures that have a worldwide or global or some sort of large flood that wiped out everybody. Many of them have a boat, an ark of some sort that preserves mankind and animals. So we know that there's a cultural history that's been passed along, right? We don't know exactly, but let's say it's the Hebrew one for a conversation. There is satellite image data available of that area that shows there was a massive flood that would have flooded all of the inhabited land of that time, or nearly all. And to an observer describing a flood, they would say it was the whole world. It was their whole world, right?
It was end of the world.
And so there's actual modern satellite evidence that such a flood happened. And all of those stories could have come from that event. And the biblical account.
And we have been telling you that's what happened. That's how Atlantic fall. Atlantic was there, and the Egyptian came later.
Yeah, I read that. I read some stuff on that meteor that you were talking about.
So some funny facts about it, because people have been racist and all that. They didn't know.
Heat level critical.
Thank you.
You guys can get.
I wanted to make sure I could kill that guy, but I couldn't get him, I guess.
Target
Hey, you
spotted.
want to help me out back here?
I'm coming, Beanie Boy.
Target
Gotta, be a second.
acquired.
Come my way. Come my direction. Come to
I
Echo
just
4.
know. I can't. Just
Oh, you're stuck down there. Keep moving. Keep twisting. I'm almost
can't.
moments away.
shut down and explain it. He killed me.
I shot him just as you got killed. Sorry.
It's okay.
Target destroyed.
I avenged you.
It's my fault. I fell down.
And achievements on the surface.
You guys
So
are a bit hopeless.
So Hugh Ross does a really great job on the Noah's flood stuff, and because he pulls all the NASA satellite data and goes through it
Not
as
just-
well as lines
not
it up
just that,
with.
Mark. They actually been to the site themselves to observe. That's why I was saying.
I don't know if they've really
When
found
you're-
Noah's Ark or not. I'm not convinced they've ever really found it. We don't really have good conclusive evidence, and we can't get up there.
Somebody actually did found the
you mean
Noah
the
Ark
Turks
in
won't
the,
let you go
in the
up there?
mountains.
Wait, it's okay. Hang on a second. So, Gunfighter, you're still kind of muffled. I've got you turned up, but you're kind of muffled because you're probably breathing through your mask.
Oh,
And
wait
so
a
when you
minute.
guys both talk at one time, it's really hard to understand anything.
Is this better?
Yes.
No, my
Oh,
weapon spell.
that's way better. Yeah.
Maybe I should stuff a muffler in my mouth too, so you can start hearing me muffling.
Yeah. There we
So,
go.
so what you're saying is that the Turks won't let anybody go up there
Right.
and confirm or deny.
Right.
Yep.
And I've watched
Look,
some really
it- it's
interesting
not like a
documentaries about it,
government thing.
but I just don't know that I'm convinced by any of them yet. Right. And I'm open to being convinced.
Look.
I'm intrinsically skeptical of a lot of that stuff, not because I don't think it's possible, but because I don't think we usually have enough evidence to nail it down.
Alright. Listen
Oh.
to this. You might sound crazy. You might think I sound crazy,
I sound
but there's
crazy sometimes.
actually there's already document actually shown before the 19th. They were supposed to have a museum for all the previous giants, but it was all scrapped and destroyed, ordered by the British Empire. All was destroyed. All the document, everything about them wiped out. That is this one important key that shows something was here before us, and then it kind of got us through how do we build our civilizations.
So, Dark, what's your
Yes.
thoughts on the Book of Enoch?
Egypt. Oops, hang on. No, I don't have any thoughts worth. I don't know enough about it to say much about it. So I'll just abstain from
About
having
what?
an opinion.
Gunfighter?
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, I don't want to be dumber than I know I am on that, and that means I should just not say anything because I don't know much about it.
Yeah, hey,
No, I
Dark,
can't hear Gunfighter clearly.
I'll
What?
say that's
What?
quite
Tesama?
All of my history, research, and studies in Genesis and the Old Testament and ancient Near Eastern history have not been far outside of Hebrew, Egypt, Syria, and sometimes they touch on things and don't go in depth on. Like I wouldn't call myself a big history, knowledge base. And I've gotten old enough, and that was 40 years ago, a lot of that study. So I just don't remember the details anyway. And with Enoch, I never really studied it much at all.
well, I mean, supposedly the Book of Enoch is in the Ethiopian
Fair point.
Ethiopian scripture. Yeah.
and
It didn't get
Coptic.
canonized, though. So I just don't know. I don't know. It's not generally accepted as canon, as part of inspired scripture, which means it might have some truth
As
in it,
part
but
of
it's
the
not.
Catholic Church. As
Oh,
part of
not just the
Catholic
Catholic Church or by the Protestant Church either.
Well,
The Christian Church,
Protestant-
by and large, doesn't recognize it as being part of authoritative scripture. It might be interesting and it might have some worth in it and stuff, but they don't accept it as being
Even
inspired.
though supposedly the scrolls found in the caves and are the Book of Enoch.
Yeah, it's not that they deny that it exists. I've never heard anybody say that. It's that they don't necessarily see
It
it
doesn't
have.
fit the narrative.
No, they don't feel like it fits in with the rest of Scripture. So when Scripture was canonized, the Council of Nicaea, it was kind of obvious to everybody after months and months of going through the different available books and letters that these 66 letters and books fit. They meshed together in harmony, and they all had the same, even though they were from different authors and they were about different topics and stories and different characters. There was this ring. Well, I would say they fit the narrative of each other, not the people who picked them, but of the books themselves. So if you read Job or Jonah or any of the other books or songs, Song of Solomon or Psalms, or the major or minor Hebrew prophets or the New Testament, all of those books dovetail into each other and connect with each other fluidly and amazingly. Enoch doesn't do that. It doesn't fit those together. So it's not just a matter of, oh, well, we didn't like it. It's a matter of they don't fit together naturally themselves. And that's how they came to the canonization. It's like these books feel like they're all the same cloth, even though they're by different authors. And they don't argue.
Hundreds of years apart.
Even though they're hundreds or 1,000 years apart. And
well, I mean the written language.
Yeah, but they weren't caring about the translation. They were reading the original Hebrew and Greek. It's not like they were saying, "Oh, in Latin these feel like they're all together." No, in the Hebrew and the Greek, they still fit.
Target spotted.
Like I said, hundreds of years, not thousands of years, because Hebrew is a oral for the longest period of time. It wasn't written.
Well,
Fuck that crap.
yes, but it was written a lot sooner than we think. For example, there's good evidence to think
25%
that
of the
Joseph
enemies are
actually
eliminated.
created the first Hebrew alphabet, which was the first, and while he was in Egypt, and that probably actually was,
Target
That
spotted.
Charlie Marauder?
that actually may have been the very first written alphabet in the world, rather than Phoenician or whatever they used to
Dark,
think or still
you
think it
wanna-
is.
Help me with that Marauder there.
I'm trying to get to him.
Yeah, fuck him up.
Use your jamjet, fly harder.
Target
I'm
spotted.
gonna join you guys. You guys
And if
are
that's the
helpless.
case, then written language instead of
Target destroyed.
hieroglyphics, pictographs, right,
Target spotted.
Airstrike online.
was written 200 years previous to any other language.
He is almost dead.
But in any
Alpha's one
case,
tap.
the canonization didn't come because a bunch of guys agreed that they liked the books together. They just agreed the books liked each other
Acquired.
together.
Left
That was
torso
really what it came
critical
down to.
damage.
That's the best layman's way to probably say it. It's kind of like when you read, if you were to read all the Harry Potter novels, all by one author, you'd just say that's the same author.
Well, I mean, look, there are a big bunch of people who have been barely paid to give false testament, like
We've almost
back
got
in
them
the
all.
early
Clean
60s,
up the
70s.
survivors.
Why are there scientists spreading rumors about the petrol fuel run out? They have been doing it until the 90s. Where does that rumor come from? People paid them to say that. So, in regards of the previous agreement on the meteor, a lot of people were disagreeing with him too because people don't like what they're hearing. They just
Oh,
don't
sure.
want to cause fear and panic.
Yeah, and I don't know that I came to a conclusion to disregard it, but I did see one link that looked pretty strongly backed up that refuted a lot of it. So I came to the
at
conclusion that I didn't have
25%.
time to go down that rabbit hole and figure out what I believed. So I put a
Target
question
destroyed.
mark in my mind and thought, well, someday when I'm done with cabinets and Effie's dead, maybe I'll come back to this and look at this and see what I can think. I just couldn't. I didn't have time to go down the rabbit hole on it. It was certainly interesting.
Well, don't worry. I would target deep enough for you so you can just jump down straight to the center of the earth.
Like I said, I was just asking,
Yeah.
your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I just don't know on that.
I mean, you've actually studied in a theological sense.
Yeah, I did, and I have for a long, long time, but I don't touch on. There's so many things to know, and there's so many objections. You have to go down the chain
Yeah.
of reasoning to find out. Well,
Well,
are they even
honestly,
right?
a lot of things can happen within 100 years in a century, right? Not to mention our new younger generation we have been going through for at least 10,000 years. But right now, our earliest backtrack is only up to when? 5,000 years plus ago. This is as far as we can go back with any human civilization traits.
Is how many
The
years?
Aztec, about 5,000 years.
I think we can go back almost 7,000. The city of is at least 6,000.
Yes, but I
And
mean,
we
there are
have,
some
like, the
left
city of
civilization.
had 20,000 clay tablets in their public library. So there's a lot of information in there.
Yeah, but that was when discovered by when?
That was discovered, the city of well, in my lifetime,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe before my lifetime, actually. I mean, I was born in 1960. I don't know when we discovered the city of actually. But it's a 6,000-7,000-year-old city.
Mm-hmm. Well, still, we cannot escape the gap over 10,000 years.
Let's see. Let's
Well,
find out.
anyway, my friend has been using different way to explore. Before this, there was a civilization. You know what, we have crystal, right?
We have
And
what?
funny enough,
Are you going to invite
there's
Princeton?
actually one Asian civilization using crystal,
Oh,
but
crystals.
it's a very ancient one. Yeah, they use crystal.
You're supposed to invite Crimson Dart.
Am I? Crimson's going to cause trouble here? All right.
Yeah,
I'm
you
up
gotta
for
invite
that.
him.
I'm all for that.
No, when I need to invite, I don't need invite.
He doesn't need an
Just
invite.
tell me.
He just makes it happen. Crimson's powerful. He used his drop crystal to jump into our channel.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you mean? I'm gonna drop shoot there. I'm gonna drop shoot the whole
Didn't you
time.
use your transportation crystal to get into our drop ship?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
That's what I would have done. That's what I would have done.
So are we in a talon, a gazelle, or a leopard?
I'm my younger man.
So what do you think we're in? A leopard, right? Yeah, they make us all
No,
take
my
leopards.
is more like a brawling. 4 SR6s with 2 subnose.
No, our dropship's a leopard. We have the leopard dropship.
I think so. I think.
Yeah. We don't have talons and gazelles here. We got leopards. They made us
I
take
don't know. I
leopards.
would prefer the old school, the big round dropship. I prefer that one.
Are you talking about the Rothgars, the Unions, or the
Yeah.
Fortress? Or
I think
then
it's a
there's the
fortress, the big
Overlords.
round dropship.
You like the Rothgars?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's big and round dropship, man.
Well, the Rothgars, they're not much bigger than a leopard, really. Now, the Unions, they can bring an entire company. The leopards and talons are for a lance. And the gazelles,
Oh.
And then you got the fortress, which is supposedly can bring a regiment.
Cool. You know about that? Solaris. Alright. I mean, it's a perfect map for my Mac. Should
Oh,
be
really?
fine.
It's perfect for your mech, huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty brawler.
You're what, a
I
bunch
mean,
of
because I'm
Smarms?
lagging, so
You're a bunch of SRMs,
no,
right?
just for Yeah, a bunch of SRM and 2 sub-nose.
2 snubbies? Doggone.
Yes, snubbies. Twin snubbies. The more the merrier.
You're a snubby little thing, huh?
Yep. And I hug them more with SRM6s, so they'll be happy. They should be very happy and satisfying customer.
Oh, now you're satisfying customers, are you?
Yep, lighten up. Lighten up. Like
You're
Christmas
lighting them up, are you?
Yep. Just like those Christmas trees.
Huh.
Zebra. What is this?
And me, I just got a double barrel shotgun. That's all.
Mm.
A pair of LB10s. I think I
Nice.
got a couple smalls to go with it, but you know. I have to make sure.
Well, I mean, you could do that, could you? Or you can just run 6 heavy small or 4 heavy small.
Well, I'm not sure what I've got on this thing exactly. I'm pretty sure I got a pair of shotguns, you know, LB10s, and I think I've got
Mm-hmm.
four smalls. I'm not sure.
Don't
We'll
worry.
look as soon as we get in.
Well, we'll take each other along. Just don't fall out.
Yeah, I got
from
4
the team.
ER smalls.
Ooh, nice.
I mean, I've
And
only
my
got
ping,
360 rounds for shotguns. Oh no! I'm
oh,
running
don't go out of
ultras.
bounds, man.
My bad. I'm running ultras. I'm running UAC 10s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are we moving or are we just standing around?
Yeah. Dart, are you there? Dart,
Yeah.
gotta move.
All right. Fine.
You alright?
Fine. I'm trying to.
Are you falling asleep?
No, I'm trying to answer this theological, historical, archaeological rat's nest of a question in short
Oh.
form, which is hard to distill things down.
Sure, you're a happy bunch.
Where are
And I
you
don't
trying to
consider
answer?
myself an
Okay.
expert on it. I consider myself at least able to check the right sources to refute it and then quote those.
Oh, okay. So
I mean, you could just
Fuel
send out a
at
Well,
beginning
what
and then
are you
done.
trying to
I've
answer
gotten
that?
tired. So for me, as a Christian who's been, you know, a Christian and a pastor for
Maybe UAV up.
gosh, since I was 18 years old.
It's not on the
So
left.
what's that? I'm 64. That's a long
Don't
time.
pick up either.
Every time I've been told that
Target spotted.
a certain thing is true by secular scholars, it's turned out to be wrong
Missile.
Target spotted.
when they make these assertions about certain things, right? And it's like, well, it turns out that later the archaeological evidence shows that that's wrong, and they just wanted it to be true because it fits their
Target
narrative.
spotted.
And fine if it doesn't fit my narrative, but there's got to be some evidence to support their view, and it turns out that they have counter evidence, and the evidence turns out to support the biblical view. And there was a group called I think it was called the Jesus Seminar in the
Oh my
50s.
God. Will you guys quit running in front of me?
Target spotted.
Who's running in front of you? It's probably me.
All of you.
Not me. Not me. I'm behind some people except for you. I'm in front of you. But it's not me. Don't think it's me. I wouldn't run in front of you except for to get in front of these guys.
Target spotted.
Guess I don't want to be there.
God damn it.
Language, please.
Well, I can't see. My bad.
He said damage
Warning, incoming missile.
because of all that damage coming in.
Yeah,
Damage.
I'm really like suddenly down to
Warning,
the side for no good reason. And there's a Gauss sniper hiding in Foxhole.
Oh,
Gauss stealth
look at
Foxhole.
the turret behind us.
I think he's assault or heavies.
We got a little ECM turret behind us. go?
Somebody just shot me in the back. Oh, they're flanking us. They're flanking us on the left.
Bravo. Great job, Dark.
They're flanking us on the left, guys.
Yeah, there's one light on top
Got
of
a
us
tire
on the
well
bridge.
back there. Watch out.
Need assistance.
All right.
You missing locations.
We're experiencing some losses. Don't get sloppy out there.
Shoot,
Yes,
everywhere I
I
go,
know.
I'm getting shot by somebody.
India's tearing me a new one. I've already lost half my firepower. What the douche? Oh. I'm down. They're behind you there, as well.
25%
I
of the
know.
enemies are eliminated.
Where? Behind us? Where? Echo.
Target spotted.
How can I miss that? I'm pretty sure it's direct back.
We've lost half our target spotted. Can't lose any more soldiers.
Heat level critical. Left torso critical damage.
We're taking critical losses. We
Uh-oh.
need you to pull through.
You blowed yourself up, Crimson.
Probably gonna die here.
Warning, incoming missile.
Did, but I killed the dire whale. I'm so happy.
I died. Hey, Breakup Man.
Okay.
I slammed him good.
We've been mutilated.
Well, I've been a
mutilated.
little motherboard too. I killed that dire whale. He is not happy with me.
I'm gonna have to read your joke in a minute. I'm
I'm glad
bound
you
to
got
like
the
it.
foil.
Can anyone
Oh, I didn't do very well. I'm not doing very well tonight. Probably because I'm not paying attention.
But that might have something to do with it, but you know.
It's possible.
I think you did better than I did that match. I got 3 assists, but
Mhm.
only did 68 damage.
Mm-hmm.
So Dark, you
You
did
should
better
have
than
hugged
me.
them closer. Well, I think it was due to the missile creeps, and I was hugging very close to the dire whale. Yeah, the Urban Jack come close. I smack him pretty hard, and then Dark kill him in the center, and then I saw the dire whale you mentioned. I went behind him, knocked him twice, and he's gone.
Well, you know, it happens. It happens.
If only we have that. What's that missile again? The one that gives doing the fire damage missile in the game. That'll be kind of awesome.
The what? Oh, are you talking about the Thunderbolts?
No. There's a particular missile in the battle tag. I forgot what's the name. That missile did not much of damage. Mostly just hit damage.
Infernos?
Yeah. Infernos. Yeah. If only we have that, that would be kind of fun.
Well, if y'all would come and run Mech 5 with me, I've got a bunch of Inferno missiles. Inferno SRMs. 2s and 4s and 6s.
Well, I do not have Mech. I do not have Mech 5. That's a problem. And my PC is too crappy to play that too.
And let's see here. I've got what is it? I've got three.
No, we got wait. I think
I've got 4 active lances, and I have over 110, 120 mechs in cold storage that I can pull from. Oh yeah. Problem is I don't have enough double heat sinks and stuff, and enough ferro fibrous and endo steel to put in them. And engines are hard to come by, especially XLs.
Yeah, I can see that.
But my active lances, unless I actually need them for something, they all cost less than 10,000 a month to maintain. Now, other ones, I've got a couple of them that are like 180,000 to maintain, 84,000, 105,000 a month to maintain. You know, like my Hellcats, they're 84,000 to maintain a 50-ton mech. Hellhound or the Hellcats. Um,
Mm-hmm.
my Warhawks are like 124, 130,000 a month to maintain. The
Wait,
the Mad
so you need to
Dogs,
maintain your max in Mech Warrior 5?
yeah, you have to pay to maintain your mechs, your active mechs.
Oh, just like the BattleTech, huh?
Hmm?
Just like in the BattleTech game, huh?
It's in campaign. You pay, and you have to fit them up and find parts and stuff like that for them to refit and all that. You know.
Yeah, not too surprised. But I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's pretty realistic. You got upgrade to do in
Well,
your ship.
the mods I'm running, have that stuff in there. And I've salvaged pretty much every mech I've got aside from my starting mech.
Hang on a second, guys.
Oh, finally you're back, Dark.
But
Almost done
pretty much
here.
everything I've got, I've salvaged. Aside from some sensors and things and ammunition that I purchased.
Are these long-range sensors?
Well, like your powered sensors and improved sensors packages.
Oh, yeah, guys, forgot. Previously there was an equipment called Advanced Sensor Package, right? So that was only for Inner Sphere. I think it was last month or this month. They have actually allowed clan to equip this equipment too, and it's only 1.5 tons instead of 3 tons.
What are you talking about?
It's a radar equipment for mechs, but this equipment is mainly for zoom, so it's for sniper purpose because the toughness is so light, but the zoom it gives you is 2.6 on advanced zoom, 260% efficiency. If you like took the heaviest targeting computer, right, your advanced zoom is only getting a 66%. But with the advanced sensor zoom itself, you can get 260%. So you can zoom like almost 10 times zoom on that advanced zoom scope. You can snipe enemy.
This doesn't let you write everything. Cut.
Well, So have you finished writing your book yet, Dark?
Just about.
We're gonna go space mode, soon
There we
maybe
go.
catch on void space virus,
All right, let me get this. Save, close, back to this, back to. Guys, it's late. I should be in bed. What are you guys doing? Still dropping. What's going on here? Okay, here we go.
You're supposed to draw
And
until the end
now
of the
Drax
night.
left a
Yeah,
joke I have to read.
Holy sh! Oh my god! Oh my god!
What? You keep asking about me. What?
No, I'm not calling you, buddy.
Burger mode, burger
God,
mode.
when people is so. Now I'm so watching a video clip. It just happened last night.
I thought
The room was closed down
Zoroastrianism
because
was.
they
I
are.
don't know that Zoroastrianism is actually even truly monotheistic. I don't know enough about it. I'm skeptical. That's kind of like the assertion of the quotes that McFish put in there was that that Egyptian pharaoh commanded monotheism. He commanded the worship of one of the many gods as being the main god. He didn't command that there was only one God and that the others were false. So it wasn't a monotheistic theology. It was actually still polytheism with a supreme one above all the others. That's theologically very distinct from the Hebrew thought of, no, there's one God and all the others are actually just a piece of wood that you're worshiping. So then let's see. Moses came down from Mount Sinai and announced to the people, I just got done speaking with God. No way, the people shouted. Yahweh, Moses said. Nice. That's good. I like that. Yahweh is one of God's names, right? So Yahweh, I like it. Good. That's a good dumb Bible joke. Moses and Jesus are. I wonder if Drex looked these up, right? Because he doesn't memorize all these Bible jokes. Nobody did, but me does that.
You know what I'm gonna do when my financial problem is over? I'm gonna buy some nice crafting machine. I'm gonna craft bunch of stones with different stuff like raw metallica and make some figure on there. And then I'm just gonna bury it in the side, make it look like a shrine. So maybe 10,000 years later, when people find it, they thought this is some worshipping of God. Like
Will
just
it
bunch of
be?
music.
Will it look like me? Will they find like the hero of the inner sphere, Dark Marauder, as an idol
I
on a
might
stone?
attach you with a trumpet if that's what you want. I
think
can do
that'd
that
be
for
nice.
you, though, if that's what you want.
I told Jennifer wants to get
That's what you
cremated,
want.
and she wants me to be cremated, and then our ashes spread into like a river, right? And I'm like,
Man.
I'm kind of old school. I kind of want to be buried in my entirety next to my parents in the graveyard they're in, because then
Now
descendants in 100 years from now or 200 years could come back if they're looking. Whoa, sorry, it's not my fault. Hello, what?
Look, Dar, listen me to this for once. I'm giving you a real advice. If you want to cremate yourself, fine.
Who said hello?
If you want to be
Was it
forever
sarcasm
long
and
lasting,
shenanigans?
make sure you
Yes, we
put your
thank-
ash together in the
Oh my
concrete to
gosh.
mix it well, and you'll be bind to that thing forever.
So, okay, hang on. I was
Wait, Cosmo.
So
Sarcasm
let me say the
is
thing.
not
So
really-
I said I don't want to be cremated.
Does Crimson ever inhale and stop talking?
No, he's good. I just tend to override him because I'm trying to stream and talk to you guys at the same time, and then I don't understand
Wait
everything
a
he said.
minute.
He's fine.
Sing drum.
And so I said, I don't want to be cremated. I'd like to be buried because that way, in 1,000 years, archaeologists can dig up my body, and they'll say, "Look, we've discovered the body of Dark Marauder, the hero of the inner sphere." And I think that'll be a great legacy for all mankind.
No, Dar, I can make it greater for you. If you cremate it, I'm gonna put you in a giant statue, like big and large. And then when they found it, they would think you
Like
are some space giant.
I'll be
Dar.
inside the statue.
You'll be
like-
mixed together with.
Oh, mixed together.
material
Okay,
put in a
so I'll be a
statue.
conglomerate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but then my DNA
Yeah.
won't be intact. See, like if they embalm me and bury me, then they could actually revive and clone me and have another Dark Marauder of the hero of the inner sphere. And that might be
my
what
God.
humanity
What?
needs to save it in the future when mechs are real
No, Dar.
and battles
We could
rage
just-
across the universe or across the
I'm
solar.
not sure. Do you actually realize you can actually put in your carbon print and to be stored forever? You can just print a DNA on the tomb. On the
DNA
on
can
some-
last a long time if it's properly prepared. It can last thousands and thousands of
No.
years.
I mean, you print your DNA laid out.
Oh, just print it out and
What
put
do
it
you
in
mean?
there? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could put it
just-
onto a
just-
crystal, for example. Oh, we're back to crystals already, aren't we?
No, not crystal, just stones. Like marble or some tough stone, they can last long time. That's what we do.
I don't think
That's
you
how
can
we do
encode
it.
DNA onto a stone very easily. It's too large.
No, we just craft the DNA structure and then that's it. We don't need to be so complicated. You just
But
need one
it's,
strand.
it's not just, no, you don't need one strand. You need the actual sequence for my body. And you need the cellular data information that's around the sugar code and the cellular structure from the microtubules. All that stuff determines the body plan, and then the DNA code determines what parts are built around and from that. So you got to put a lot of information there, and you can't just put a string of any old DNA in there. It has to be my DNA. So that's 3.2 billion bits of information, sequences. That's not going to fit on a rock. You could encode it into a crystal.
Target spotted.
What do you mean it won't fit on a rock?
Won't fit. Well, a big rock. Sorry.
Target spotted.
If it's a big enough rock, I guess you could. And if you wrote really small, right?
Target acquired.
Target spotted.
Yeah, we don't need to craft the whole thing like probably big now. Just probably visible enough for the eye. So I think entire tablet is enough for one unit strength. More than enough, I guess.
I mean, we can put it on a CD-ROM, but that's not going to last 1,000 years. It'd have to be. That's why I'm saying a crystal would probably be better.
No, the crystal would not last longer than a rock.
No, you can. Yeah, you can.
Can.
You can encode data in crystals. IBM did it 20 years ago, and it can last as long as the crystal and the structure lasts. So that's possible. I don't know that they do it well, but it's certainly possible.
Where you guys at?
My enemy lines.
Boy, that guy's hard to kill.
Airstrike on
Which guy?
Oh no, I shut down. I hate when that happens. Suddenly I become the target of choice.
Can you light me something up back there, Crimson?
Where are you?
I'm right behind you.
Target spotted.
Okay, it's time to start taking down some mechs here.
If you could keep Foxtrot lit, that would be nice.
No, I need help already.
Like I said,
Hit level critical.
what is
Left
that?
arm
Yeah.
critical damage.
Do you have a...
Too late. I got surrounded by 3 assault, so it was too late when you guys came in late. I want to go. That's the reason I don't want to push off first, but you say you came, so. Well, I guess I should have went with the
destroyed.
piranha so I can kill him on the back.
Target spotted.
Well... oh well, I killed one anyway. I killed the rating
Thanks for
one.
that.
Watch your right flank. Guy under the antenna. Atlas under the antenna. Watch your right
with the
flank. There's a
shenanigans.
direwolf to your right.
Yeah, I also watch his shenanigans.
Why isn't he
Raven.
doing anything?
Warning incoming missile.
He is,
Left
but he's
torso
too
critical
formed.
damage.
And I bet he's running XL.
What's he doing? Just standing there. I
Target
don't get it.
spotted.
I don't get it.
He's shooting X powers. What do you mean?
Left arm
Oh,
destroyed.
we got one DC.
Weapon laser
Oh
destroyed.
no.
Why are you standing there?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't
never
know.
mind. Why are you face down?
No,
Why am I laying dead on the ground?
Why are you face down?
I don't know. Okay, Moses and
Wait,
Jesus
yeah.
are sitting in a boat on a lake. Moses turns to Jesus and he says, "You know, I wonder if I've still got it." He stands up and spreads his arms out wide, and on command the waters of the lake part, and the boat settles on the ground. He brings his arms back in and the water comes rushing back, lifting the boat back to the surface. Jesus says, "That's cool. I wonder if I've still got it." So he stands up on the edge, he takes his first step out of the water, and he sinks straight down to the bottom. Moses quickly does his water parting thing and pulls Jesus back into the boat. Wow, what happened? Well, the last time I did that, I didn't have all these blankety blank holes in my feet. I get it. So he leaked and sank. That's pretty good. That's pretty funny. That's pretty good.
So he made Jesus sing.
Yeah, because somebody put holes in his feet when they crucified him, so now he leaked, right?
Yeah.
I hate when that
the
happens.
water go through, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I might have to tell those tell those jokes to someone else.
Oh God.
Why?
That's a
Why would you subject somebody else to those?
Because I like them. That's like who is the shortest man in the Bible? Some people thought it was Nehemiah, but obviously there was Bildad the Shuhite who was shorter. And clear back in Genesis, there was one man reported to be an Adam. So he's obviously the shortest man in the world in history. And then there's like who was the most elastic man in the Bible? Balaam says in the Old Testament, Balaam tied his ass to a tree and walked away. But it's a donkey joke, sorry.
It's a donkey joke?
Yeah, a donkey. He tied his donkey to a tree and walked away. It's a pun. It's a bad pun, but I like it.
Okay. I thought you said his ass, but okay.
Yeah, I did, but I had to
as
translate so you'd know what I was talking about, because you otherwise wouldn't have understood it. Because you only know the one meaning probably on the top of your head. I had to help you with that, and you're welcome.
What? I mean, Mary rode on an ass.
That's right. That's right.
What?
Yeah, in King James. King James
You
translation,
guys.
a donkey was translated as an ass. It still is used as an ass.
I mean, is there many other ways to describe a butt, right? But yeah.
But a donkey, an ass is a donkey. That's one of the names of a donkey in English.
I know, but usually they're in the oldest cartoon they started with a J, so it's a bit
Like
rude of them, but
we
yeah.
use the term, if you're a dog breeder, a female dog is a bitch. But if you use it in regular slang language, it's a term of derading
Yeah, I know.
someone, right? So there are a few animal languages, terms, or words that are used correctly within their category, and then they're also used as curse words when people are trying to.
Well, a
be jerks
dame
to
is
people.
also a bitch.
A what? A dame?
Yes.
Is that what kind of animal is that?
A bitch. A dame is a bitch.
In dogs, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, okay, dogs. So I was thinking maybe horses or something.
I mean, Tiz and Windwalker had his sire and his dame listed.
Oh yeah,
as-
yeah. Hellbringer. Yeah, I should probably be taken out of my channel. Taught a lesson. Taken out and beaten up. Taught a lesson. Okay, this will be my last drop here.
All right,
Oh.
let's
your
make
last
it
drop.
worth.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
it's
the
gonna be
previous
great.
match, the score wasn't great for Dark, so he redo it every time.
Oh, and look at this. We got Dark's favorite map.
Oh, this is your favorite map now, Dark?
I like this map a lot. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's certainly one of my favorites. I think it's a good map.
I mean, he chose this over Terra Therma.
There's lots
You
of cover.
Well-
It's cool for an energy boat, and it's pretty. So what else could I want?
And they got
Well,
those
certainly-
Shilohs. It's got those Shilohs in there.
Yeah, all the Shilohs. Howdy, everybody.
If you were able to make it to China 50 years ago, you might have a taste of beer pong.
What's up, boss?
Hellbringer, it is family friendly if you're a farmer or a dog breeder. Then it is.
No,
Yeah, because they call donkeys that, and dog
it
breeders call
doesn't. It doesn't matter you're a breeder or not. Dark. It's still kind of rude to say it anyway.
Why?
It's actually the term they use that is the technically correct term. So it's not used as a curse word
Online.
in its context. Then it's not technically bad.
All systems nominal.
I just don't, but we don't, around here, you guys wouldn't use it that way, so it's not generally accepted in my channel. So the context
What do you mean?
matters.
I used it exactly like it you meant.
You did in this
Where we
case, so
going,
you're
fellas?
totally good. It's clean man, good man.
Affirmative.
Yeah, but
I'm
but
not-
I threw you. I threw you there a little bit when I said a dame is a bitch, didn't I?
Well, no, I knew that you were referring to some sort of animal. I just didn't know which one. It's like I just didn't know.
Sorry.
I kind of knew where you were going. I just couldn't get there because I didn't have the knowledge of that. I've never been a dog breeder. I don't know what they
I mean,
call
you thought I was
cats.
talking about a broad
No, I didn't. I didn't think you were.
or a dame.
I just couldn't figure out what animal you were
or a
talking
female
about.
human.
I did not think. I was tracking with you. I just couldn't. I didn't know what you were referring to.
Airstrike online.
I have the utmost confidence in you, so I didn't assume you were going the wrong direction. Okay, so I'm naive too, but still.
All I have to do is laugh.
Yeah. All the thing about the directions are like you have a proper direction of sense. I mean, of direction. So you always get.
Why are you shooting at Shiloh?
It
Target
looks like they're massing to
acquired.
go down the 3 or 4
Well,
line.
there's like a bunch of them, 6 of them.
They
Whoa,
often
I need to go ahead,
often
I need to
come
go
down the
ahead.
3-4 line. That's common
Dark was
practice.
shooting at Shiloh.
There's a 6 of them. Isn't that you guys call this silo? Why you call it
Target
silo?
spotted.
No, I
If
said
that's what I said
Shiloh.
more, we could mop up anybody up top there still.
Target spotted.
Those birds are Shilohs. You know, the big bombers? The aerospace assets that are in here?
I almost shot our own light. That would have been bad.
I don't see
Dark,
any
watch
lights
out
in
on
here.
your left.
Yeah,
On your back
I'm
left.
going to
Yeah,
move.
you
I don't
go
think I
past.
need to be where I'm at. I think it's a
I
bad
don't see any
move.
lights. There's no lights in this place.
I saw one of our
I'm on your
lights.
6, Dark.
Oh, I didn't see any lights what you were
Yeah, I
talking
would
about.
like
You're
to
right.
Where at are you? Oh, there you is.
IR
Yeah,
here.
on E4. Enemy on E4, D4. Walking past, I'm gonna go behind
target,
you.
target. There's a sweet little target over here.
I'm on your 6, gunfighter. Charlie.
Where's Charlie? I'm
He's
not
on
seeing
D5,
Charlie.
small piranha. He's in D5. Now he's heading to
Target
C5.
spotted.
It's a piranha.
Oh, that little runner, the piranha.
Look. Yeah. Don't chase. Hey! Hey!
New target
Why am I
acquired.
chasing a squirrel? This
We're all
squirrel's
chasing.
did
We're all
say don't
the whole
chase
team's
them.
after a squirrel.
It's a fishing squirrel. Like that.
Let's go across and get him. Go down the D4 line.
Oh, that's a mauler.
Target spotted.
Whoa, buddy. I'm not liking
Fuel
that.
at 25%. Fuel at 0%.
Need assistance.
Airstrike online.
Ah, shoot.
Yes, that's on E4. I want to get onto that one. Whoa! What's your shot at the back, buddy?
That's me. Sorry.
Target spotted.
Well,
You're on
you know
E4,
what
yes,
you
E4.
want, don't you?
I know, it was Dara. He shot my back like
Just a little bit.
I know. He
I
bruised
was
me. Yeah.
just teasing. Need help with Charlie?
Are you sure you wasn't glazing?
Target spotted.
Guys, we're pinned behind this rock. We can't really advance till you come give us some cover. Then we can all push
Experiencing
out.
some losses.
Push them.
Don't get sloppy out there.
Why are you talking about
Airstrike
Charlie, Dark?
online.
Because he was shooting me. He still wants
Charlie
to.
wasn't shooting you. Charlie's up here with me.
Target spotted.
New target
Oh,
acquired.
Delta's coming
Target
down.
spotted.
Now I'm gonna have
New
trouble with this
target
Vapor
acquired.
I'm
Eagle.
taking a lot of hits up here, Dark.
Me too.
If you want to get up here, you know.
I'm
come on
shooting
up.
from behind this rock, trying to stay alive. Uh-oh, that was a bad shot.
Target spotted.
Warning, incoming missile. Heat level
Delta
critical.
is
Yeah, I'm not too happy with that crap.
peppering me.
Stupid lagging ping.
Half our force.
Uh,
Can't lose any
I'm pretty
more
beat up.
soldiers.
Left torso critical damage.
Yeah, guess what? After I'm dead, the ping drops back to less than 200. Always happen this.
Critical damage.
What
Heat
drop?
level critical.
Oh, you ping.
My
They're gonna
ping
kill me.
drop when I'm dead.
Yeah.
When I'm alive, my ping is always 300. When I'm dead, my ping drop below
I
300.
think we're losing.
No.
Look at that
We are losing,
Taco Man has killed 3 in a row. Bing, bing, bing. Crunch, crunch, crunch.
Well, I just lost. I'm
We're
dead.
taking critical losses. We need you to pull through.
Is Shaggy not even touched yet? Hardly at all. Oh my gosh, he's in a Timberwolf howl and he's not even been in the match. Maybe he was a disconnect.
Well,
He's not even
here now.
He's not even going to where the battle was. Maybe he didn't know where to go. Ultra AC2s.
Fights
Oh,
on the
man.
dog line. Fights on the dog line.
Wait, we got a
Target
Kimbo on the run
acquired.
and with the assault also. Oh my Lord, that's how we lost.
What's the other guy in? A Timberwolf?
One
and
is a Black Cat, the one is a Timberwolf. So 2 Wildcats on the run.
Oh,
Just like
wow. Yeah, we left a lot of power on the table, didn't we? Off the table, I mean.
Yeah. I mean, the ATM is not that great in this map, but
I don't think I don't think Jim Kodiak's that great of a pilot. He might get a kill here because I shot that guy over and over again.
I did. I shot like 3 times, but yeah, now he's dead. I know he's running extra, but I cannot land a hit on that guy because my ping was bad. I shot him like 6 times dart with like 6 SR6s, and he did not go down.
You know, you can dump fire the ATM.
No, I was
critical
using Archer
damage.
with the SRM, and I can hit the guy like 6 times in the chest,
No,
and he
I'm
did not go
missile.
down.
Never mind, Crimson. I wasn't talking.
Warning, incoming missile.
Oh, okay.
Right arm.
This guy's
Left
soon to be
torso
dead.
critical damage.
He will be.
Come in.
And
Control the surface.
yep.
Can anyone read?
I mean, right there would have been the perfect place to dump fire those ATMs. You know,
That was-
Well, some people
three
don't
mechs
learn.
lined up in a row.
maybe
You
I
just
should
dump fire
do
the
one
mechs.
more because that was kind of sad.
He said, you know what? I'll change to a different mag. Archer isn't great fast enough for some reason. Let me do something. Let me do something.
We're getting in different mechs now. Is that what you said?
Yeah, we're doing the same game, but a different mag. Give me a second.
Yeah. Different mech. Yeah. Different mech. Let me see. How about this?
Maybe.
Mm.
I don't know, must my cat be messing
Yeah.
around whenever I'm not looking at it?
No. No. Oh, what do we got here? Ooh. No. How about you? I can't read you. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Okay, let me check you out. Yeah. Ooh, yabba dabbas. Okay, yeah. I think you look good.
Yeah, I stick to my Arctic Wolf now.
Woof.
Yeah,
I'll get my cauldron born. I mean Eben Yeager. My cauldron born.
I have 8 SRM4 on this little guy, so he can do a lot of damage.
I got a pair of LPs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm running LPs. Yeah. LPs.
You back yet, Darren?
What? Sorry.
He fell asleep.
No, I'm here. Sorry. There's a really good book called, what's it? Oh, the Bible in the Land of Myths. And it's by a Hebrew professor, historian, archaeologist, and Hebrew scholar. And basically, he takes all of the asserted myths of different Philistines and Assyrians and Egyptians and stuff that were around or captive or fighting with the captivating or fighting with the Hebrews, and their beliefs that then some scholars have said, look, the Hebrews stole this belief and changed it. And he shows how they didn't actually steal it. Or if they stole it, they changed it to monotheism, from polytheism to monotheism. But generally, in most cases, they actually originated their stories that are in the Bible.
You mean like
They didn't steal. Yeah, they didn't steal stories from other cultures unless they did it with a purpose. Like I mentioned with the Egyptian creation story, turned into the biblical creation story, and it's drastically changed. And it gets about 23 predictions about creation and the creation of the universe and solar systems and planets and Earth correct. And only the Enuma Elish gets 2 predictions correct, and no other religion in any time of history or people gets any others at all correct.
You mean like how Genesis 5 admits the existence of all the other gods?
What are you talking about?
You know, all the other pantheon of gods.
Genesis 5, I don't know what you're talking about. Give me a reference that I can go look at.
Fallen angels, men of great.
Fallen angels aren't biblically gods.
No, I said that explains all the other pantheons that were worshipped as gods.
I'm still not sure what you're talking about. I guess I'd have to go look and see what you're talking about.
What's up, boss?
Okay, the fallen angels
Yeah.
were worshipped as gods.
By who?
They took humans and created men of great.
Oh, you're talking about oh gosh, what are they called? The
Hercules, etc. You know, the giants.
Yeah, it doesn't refer to Hercules.
Worshipped as gods.
Yeah,
You know.
Darn it, the name's escaping me. Nephilim. You're talking about the Nephilim?
The fallen
Reference
angels.
to Nephilim. So, but fallen angels weren't ever worshipped as gods by the Hebrew people.
I didn't say they were worshipped.
Or
by
weren't
Hebrews.
supposed to be, at least, because there are times when the Hebrew
I didn't
people.
say they were worshipped
Okay.
by Hebrews.
Okay.
I said they were the ones that were worshipped as the other people's pantheons.
And they took as wives the sons of God or
The
sons of
daughters
men
of
as
man.
wives, daughters of man. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
And created the men of great, i.e. Hercules.
But I don't know if Hercules is really mentioned.
Well,
But it's
Hercules
not mentioned
is
there,
supposed to be
obviously.
the son of Zeus, who's supposed to be the Greek pantheon's god.
I don't know where there's evidence of that in the Bible. I'm not saying that there may not be an overlap there. I just don't see it in the text.
Genesis 5.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Genesis 5. It's right
Yeah.
there.
It doesn't say Hercules in Genesis.
No.
There's no
It says
mention
men
of
of great.
Zeus or Apollo or Hercules in Genesis.
Okay.
Airstrike
Right?
online.
Am I missing something? So someone might have a
Okay.
theory that that's what it's talking about, but I don't remember ever reading anything about those Greek
It doesn't
gods.
mention Hercules, etc.
No, he's still there.
I think
It
he's
doesn't say Zeus and Apollo, etc.
Yeah, so what's
Doesn't
their
say
what's their
Odin.
thinking that that's who they are? Like, where did they get that idea from? Do you know?
Well, let's see
Oh
here.
shit, we already got a
And they
wolfhound in the
bred with,
backfield.
with the daughters of man
Yeah.
and created the men of great.
Yeah, but we don't know who the men of great are. There's nothing in biblical history, in the Bible account, or in Hebrew extra biblical lore that says those are the Roman gods that we're talking
Hey, you
about.
guys are leaving
I've never
everybody else
never
behind.
heard that before. That sounds like
Hey, man,
just
I came
some
back for you.
wild conspiracy theory.
Really?
Machine gun.
So I'm willing to entertain it, but I got to have some reference for how they got there, right? Like what made them think that?
Thanks.
What made who think what?
What made whoever says that that's what the men of
Spotted.
that's who they're talking about? Where does that come from? Who says that? And why do they say it? I've never heard a Bible scholar. I've never read a Bible article from a scholar or good scholarship that says that. That's a totally new thing I've never heard in 40
Of course you've
years.
never heard it from them. Because that would mean they would have to admit
No,
that,
okay, but
there might be something to.
But good Hebrew scholars and archaeologists, they have to have some kind of evidence to back up that kind of a claim. What's their evidence? Where do they come up with that?
Guys, need help on Delta.
It's not good enough to say, oh, I think it was this. That would fit what I think. They got to have some evidence that backs it up.
Airstrike online.
Let's see, evidence to back it up. Well, let's see here. How about all the mythologies?
The mythologies.
All the other sources,
So,
beliefs from other personnel from the sources.
but there aren't any
Greek,
mythologies
Roman,
that point
Greek,
to
Roman,
the
Norse.
Bible and say, oh, that's us in the Bible, right? That doesn't necessarily connect either. I guess
No,
I just
I-
have
I
to go.
agree.
I'd have to go see where you're getting
Everybody's
it
not
from
stopping.
and
Guys,
study it more. 'cause
help me. Oh my
I've never
God.
heard that as being a valid thing.
Airstrike online.
Guys, I'm under
You got a whole wave of guys
the
coming
freaking
from
piranha. Help me.
C3 towards y'all back there.
I'm getting tore up by a warlord. And
I'm getting torn up by
a,
everybody, and I think it's gunfighters' fault.
Yeah, I'm dead.
You guys are talking too much, and I'm fucking screaming for help, and you guys did nothing. For Christ's
I'm
sake.
doing something. What are you talking about? I'm dying here.
Hey, I'm already dead, so you know.
Yeah, we're doing the dying. We're doing our part of dying.
What is all of that?
Really, Dara, look at my percentage and your percentage. I'm 22 and you're 86.
I feel like I'm doing
How are you dying?
plenty of good dying here.
We're
Hey,
experiencing
Crimson,
some
look at my
losses.
percentage.
Don't get
I'm
sloppy
0.
out there.
I'm
I
dead.
know.
They just hit me.
You.
They just hit me
I'm
with an
saying
arty
me
strike.
and
I feel like
God.
I'm doing all the dying necessary to keep us alive.
And I need to do 42
Dark at
damage.
85%.
Save.
I'm doing some serious dying here. Oh, where is this little bugger?
Look up.
Oh, I hate when I'm just surrounded getting shot by everybody.
Yeah, I've been telling it the first time. You guys not paying attention. If you guys gang up with me, the piranha will have been dead. He got stuck for 2 seconds, but only me and the other guy was shooting him. The rest wasn't even paying attention to him.
Fuel at 25%.
You see all those 3
Ah.
over there? Yeah, 3 of them pretty much lined up back there. Just gunning away at you, Dark.
I know.
Oh,
Got
nice
one.
hit.
New
Nice.
target acquired.
If this guy will come up, I'll be happy.
Airstrike online.
Guess he's not going to. We're down by heaps and bounds, though, aren't we?
There's only 4 at the left, Dark. Behind you. Hard right, hard right, hard right. You have to just let the guy shoot from the back
25% of the enemies are eliminated.
without response.
I couldn't go hard right. I was trying to get around this corner
We need you to pull through.
to shoot this guy. I'm gonna die. This is where it happens.
Heat level
Yeah,
critical.
kill that warhound.
Left
Kill that warlord.
I couldn't. I knew I wasn't gonna be able to. It's getting pretty toasty there.
At all you people.
Hey, question. How you doing?
I think they
Hey,
killed
Jeremy.
us.
Hello.
Hey, Swarmy. You got here just in time for me to leave. Was that your plan?
Yes, definitely.
Hey, Corsair.
Howdy.
You should go to bed.
I need to eat first, so
Come in. Control the surface.
during my
Oh,
run.
Can anyone read?
We died horribly.
Well, I could drop out.
Dark, you
I could drop out.
No, you're good.
Dark
No,
has
the
really
ping for me is really bad. I can't perform the game in the proper manner at all.
Oh, my skill rating's going down. Heading to tier 6.
No, Dark. That theory I've got,
Yeah.
I come up with pretty much on my own.
Okay.
You know, just by the study and reading
So,
myself.
so where's your, like, what are your points of evidence that make you think it's accurate?
The Bible says that other people do that.
But the Bible doesn't say those are
definitely-
those things.
The Bible says that the fallen angels were worshipped as gods, and they took on the guise of gods,
Yeah.
of false gods,
So you're just connecting that,
And-
thinking that's where it
and-
came from, maybe.
and they bred with human females and made men of great. So in mythologies throughout the world, right, where they have all of these polygamy, you know, what do you call them? All of these pantheons of gods.
Yeah, the Parthenon.
And I mean, you know, they did say
I'm not gonna discard that
God
out of
did
hand.
wipe them out, blah blah blah, right?
Yeah. I'm not gonna say no. I don't believe you out of hand. I'm gonna say I'm
I'm
curious.
saying that's my proof right there.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the only proof I have.
Okay. Fair enough. So, and I'm gonna say
That's the only proof I have, and it's Genesis chapter 5.
Yeah. So now that I know what you're talking about, so I'm gonna say I'm curious about that because I've never really studied that particular thing, and the Nephilim are kind of mysterious people that we don't really know who they are, where they come from. And so one of the things that I learned in Bible school, Bible college, is that the great breeding ground of man's theology is in the silence of the Bible. So where the Bible isn't really telling us something, men usually come up with all sorts of interesting theology that may or may not be true, right? So we got to be really a little careful there. However, in your favor, what's that?
Like I said, that's my only evidence.
Yeah. That's fine. In your favor, I'm gonna be on your side here for a second, okay? In your favor, there's a book by Bob Browning. I can't remember what it's called, but I've got it on my shelf, and it's fascinating. And he takes archaeology from all over the Middle East in different time periods, but particularly back in the time periods when the Bible was written. And he's found, not just but he takes evidence that has been dug up by everybody, right? And he's noticed that there are pictographic stories in Greek history that mirror the flood, the Adam and Eve story, the whole,
the Assyrian ball,
all sorts of sections of the Genesis accounts, and they're done
Assyrian
in
ball.
pictures and art on vases and things like that. And that the serpent and Adam and Eve and good and evil, all that kind of stuff's there. However, what he found was that it's from the perspective of the Greek idea that Eve was the good guy and the serpent was the good guy who brought wisdom, and not wisdom, but knowledge to Eve. And rather than the fall being a bad thing, it was a good thing, and then knowledge was supreme over what God wanted for Adam and Eve. And that then the flood and Noah and Noah's sons and Cain and Abel, all these stories are all reversed from the Greek God perspective, and that the Greek gods sometimes are these characters in the Bible. And the Parthenon has the history of Genesis in its art of sculptures up on the top of the roof, which is destroyed partially now, but we have drawings of it from before that, so you can then see it. And it's a fascinating read because it's like, oh my gosh, it's like the flip side of the same coin from a different perspective.
And let's
really
not forget
interesting.
The Assyrian Baal. I
What's
do
that?
believe Baal is
Oh,
referenced
Baal,
in the Bible.
Baal, yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, Baal. Baal.
And there's archaeological evidence for that too.
Yeah. So anyway, you would
So-
probably like these books because they're really fascinating and they kind of go along that line, and there might be some reference to what you're talking about as well as actual archaeological evidence that would bolster your case, but I'd have to go back and read them again.
Right?
Yeah.
Genesis 5, in that right there, in that statement right there, in that verse right there, gives proof to the mythological Pathians. Or Pathians.
We don't really know that. We just know that there's these mysterious beings of people who are described as being unusually large and strong who lived before and after the flood. And they're referenced in Genesis and in Numbers and possibly referenced in Ezekiel.
Look, listen.
And the word Nephilim is sometimes translated as giants, but it's taken as the fallen ones.
Centuries ago.
But nobody has really
remember
made
I
a strong enough
mentioned
case to say that the Nephilim are the Greek gods. I've never even heard that case.
What about Titans, Dart?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
No, didn't I just mention earlier used to be a museum of giants and it was all destroyed nearly a century ago?
There was a what?
Yeah. There was a museum of giants.
A museum of giants?
On Earth. Yes, it was all removed, all destroyed. Everything was removed. Any organization will talk about this.
I don't know of which you speak. I don't know what you're talking about.
The thing is,
that's what people say.
And I think it's Genesis. Isn't it Genesis 6 where you're talking, not Genesis 5? Might be Genesis 6. I'd have to go look.
6:5 or 5:6.
It's probably 6 1 through 4 talks about the Nephilim, I think.
And the men of great,
Yeah. So that's interesting. I would recommend you find that book and read it because you'd probably find it very fascinating, and it might actually dovetail what you're thinking. I'd have to go back and read it again. I haven't read it for years.
I mean, but you understand what I'm saying here. I mean,
yeah, I just don't know that I'm all in on it with you. I've never heard that before, and I've never seen the connection presented. But it's not that it's not. I can't just out of hand say you're wrong. I don't know enough.
I was a theological genius here, or student, or whatever.
Well, in truth, me neither.
And
I love to talk about these sorts of things, but I try to keep a fairly skeptical lens.
I've studied mythology.
Yeah.
I've read the Quran. I've read the Bible.
Yeah.
I've studied a little bit of Hindu and Buddhist, and what do they call it? Shinto? No.
Japanese.
Yeah. Shinto. A little bit of that.
I've studied sushi.
I ain't saying it right. I'm not saying it right. I know that.
That's fine. I've studied sushi. That doesn't really help though, does it?
But I've studied quite a bit of that. I mean,
yeah.
So
I've done more overview comparisons of the basic teachings or assertions of the main and some of the sub-main religions of the world compared to biblical teachings, theology, and stances and stuff like that. And I see, there's always going to be some overlap of certain things, but generally there's some real distinctive things. And so the distinctive things are more interesting to me, actually. But in any case,
a lot of the stuff I studied,
I have not studied some of those things, I'm sure, nearly as much as you have. I'm fairly comfortable in the Old Testament in a broad range of topics, but I've never spent a lot of time on the Nephilim.
I'm a great student, okay? I'm no great student. I've got, base level.
There's a lot to learn and forget, and at my age, it's easy to forget.
I'm not.
So a lot of
fucking
times it's
with
like, well, I know that's not right, but I don't really know why, and now I got to go back and look. It's that kind of a thing.
But that's why I was asking. I mean, you said you did the youth pastor thing and
Yeah,
stuff. So
yeah,
you studied theology.
yeah,
Me, I studied it just from the cultural perspective to, let's see, because I was there
yeah.
in that area, or know thy enemy.
Right, right.
I mean, I studied it from that perspective.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did that ever come in handy in battle for you? Like, did it ever help you figure out what your enemy might be doing or might do next? Or just was generally useful to know or interesting to know? The reason I ask that is because, like, Patton, wasn't it Patton who used to study tactics out of the Bible that David would use in battle and stuff like that, and sometimes take advantage of those ideas?
Oh, speaking of that, it was a British general that mirrored David's battle
Oh, really?
that mirrored David's battle.
Well, he had lots of
What was
battles, but were there a certain one that he...
Rana running around us.
What it start? He's the name. The British general's name started with a W. I'm thinking.
Oh, heavens, I don't know.
And it was in Palestine, where the battle took place during World War II against the Germans or the Turks. I forget. It was, but he mirrored the same battle. It was a mirror of the battle, and Patton studied Rommel's book. Um, supposedly. So the legend goes. I don't know, but but the stuff I studied a lot of it, and yeah, when you learn what a people thinks or an ideology, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You'll get an
Was it
idea
Edmund
of.
Allenby?
I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly.
British General Edmund Allenby, seen here entering Jerusalem, fought his campaigns against the Ottoman Turks using tactics gleaned from 6 winning battle strategies of the Old Testament. Oh, there was Yonatan. I don't know. Go on. Sorry, I was interrupting you.
Yeah, knowing how a people thinks and the ideology that they follow gives you insights onto what they'll do on a battlefield.
Yeah, yeah.
And how they will fight. It's kind of like Hezbollah. I mean, we know exactly what they're going to do because they do exactly what the Quran tells them to do.
Right.
Well, about all religion and other things, I don't always fully trust them because, like Doug has said, sometimes in certain area, when certain people are in favor, they tend to change things a bit to be in their favor. Doesn't matter it's personal interest gain or political gain, they always do that. The same goes for dynasty. There are sometimes they are more favor of type of monks, they are more favor of Buddha, or they're more of favor of Taoists. So every era there'll be a thriving of one religion and then the depress of the other two. It happens all the time.
What I'm saying is, if you know the ideology, you have a better understand. If you understand the ideology, the overall ideology, you'll get an idea, a better idea of what's going to happen, or if you do this, they're going to do that, or if they're doing this, that from there it leads to there. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
not.
understand.
It's not. It's not an instruction manual per se, but it gives you a heads up. You understand what I'm saying?
Are you trying to tell us that history repeat itself just like the Bible and other books?
How about this?
I know giants exist
Things are
before.
cyclic.
They just got wiped and clean. So
Things are cyclic. The toys may change, but the motivations pretty much stay the same. Does that make sense? Just
put it
because we
more
have better
simplified.
toys,
They changed the chicken soup into a beefy soup, but the ingredient actually did not change much. It's the same way, same old method, same teaching. I get what you mean. Just with
it's
different
like
names.
it's like this. If you've studied Sun Tzu, am I pronounced? I can't never get that pronunciation right.
Sun Tzu. Yeah, I know. He actually his way.
If you do not
What
follow
is 36?
those rules of war, you will lose the battle.
I know.
9 times out of 10, you will lose the battle if you do not follow those rules of war.
Say that again. I was reading something.
No, he's referring to the art of war, the famous guy in one
Oh,
of the
right.
Sun Tzu,
Chinese.
the art of
there's
war.
10 rules. 10. What did you say?
I
No,
didn't
there's
say there
30,
were 10 rules.
there's 36 strategies, 36 of them, and if you do not follow those, you will lose in the battle.
Well, you
Because
can't follow them all
he's
at one
way of
time,
Nine,
can you?
9 times out of 10, if you do
no no
not
no
follow
no
those rules, you will lose the battle.
no. That it's like the 36 of them will be some condition and the timing to be used.
Oh,
So when the
okay. All
condition
right.
met and if you don't use it, you are definitely gonna lose. That's what he
Okay.
meant.
I see.
And it doesn't matter what
Yeah.
toys you use, okay? If you don't follow the rules of war, you will lose the battle. And that's
Yeah.
been proven over and over and over for the past, what, 5,000 years or so?
So he was obviously a good tactician. I knew I'd get there.
He's a strategist. That's what we call it in our days in Dynasty. They are strategists. They always plan ahead. And Zhuge Liang was one of the best during the Three Kingdoms time. He is one of the craziest. I think he has IQ of almost 180, if I'm not mistaken, because he knows of
And
something that
it's
beyond normal human do.
the only way to, it
Good night,
boils down
everybody.
to the only way to win a war is not to fight it.
Yeah.
I mean,
crosses out.
it's
Yeah, and funny.
I've got to go to bed, but I've never gone down the Nephilim rabbit hole. So now I'm looking at all these links, going, "Oh my gosh,
No,
who has time to do this?"
He's saying that Nephilim just a reference of people using the same tactics in different books.
No, I
it's
know.
over
I'm just
and
going back
over
to our
again.
original conversation about the Greek gods being the Nephilim.
No,
Well,
the Greek gods is
I-
just a mythology, but from what we had discovered, right? Because one of my friend was actually very interested in human origins and also aliens. So they actually found a group of people who is dedicated to this, and they actually have made a lot of discovery. But the thing is, entire world nation government is suppressing this because they don't want the humans to know any of this at
See,
all.
now you're
This is
crossing
why.
over my line of what I can handle.
No. I'm not crafting that. There are certain things that is really unexplainable, but the government just choose to hide it.
I
Enough
just
said.
don't think the
Why
government
everything?
cares about ancient biblical and Greek
No, that. It wasn't about that.
stuff.
It was more like there's actually clear sign of interference of previous alien civilization. They just don't want to show to us.
I don't think
That's
there
it.
was any alien civilizations.
There is there.
okay, Dark.
The pyramid and the Aztec alone already say a lot about it, and also including the Atlantis. But people just keep denying
But
about it
there's
because
no
again they
evidence
say
that was
it's
from an
facts.
outer, an alien species from off planet. There's no
You
evidence
see,
of that.
in the golden age of Egyptian time, they keep claiming they have an ancestor who is bigger size than them. wiser than them.
But giantism
Other
has
than
been
that,
around in various forms for thousands of years.
Yes, and funny enough, just a century ago, the Museum of Giant, the actual giant bodies were destroyed. So why? Why is that?
Well, it could have been a fake.
And you know you
For
should
one.
know the Roswell incident. This is well recorded. You should know there's a giant alien that fell onto
I
the
know
Earth.
I know there are giant people who have genetic mutations that cause them to have giantism. We've known
No.
that.
The giant one
I'm
was
not
like in a
questioning
rare
that.
chance of human
I'm questioning
genetic.
that those are aliens from
Oh.
another planet. I don't think so. I don't think the pyramids were built by aliens. I don't think Atlantis was built by aliens. Corsair, are you still here? Can you help me? Corsair, oh, he's gone.
No, he's gone. He's gone. He gave up.
He gave up. He couldn't take it anymore. Yeah.
Hey, Dark.
Yeah.
Depending on who you ask, okay, and what culture you ask, right?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, less than maybe 100 years ago or less, a man with a flashlight in deep dark Africa was considered a god.
Yeah, I know, but
And I mean, and they were aliens.
But we don't have archaeological evidence that shows that these supposed aliens really existed.
It can be
we just don't have it.
If a museum of giants could be removed entirely from the planet Earth surface, and then including the data and documentation, I don't think nothing else could be removed easily too. So yeah.
Oh, hey,
just the fact that they're missing a giant skeleton doesn't. Even if we had it, it wouldn't prove aliens.
Aliens, Doc.
It would just be a giant human, which is a defect.
Hey, Dark, are you sure it wouldn't be a Nephilim?
It could have been a Nephilim, but that could be a human.
i.e., a fallen angel.
They might have been described as fallen angels, or they could be mutated humans. I don't really. It's not. I'm not.
An alien.
I would be. I'm just highly skeptical of that jump.
Okay, Dark. We can be skeptical. Okay, that's fine, but we can't disprove.
Can't disprove it, but I'm not going to put any money in it. Like I'd say there's probably a much plainer and simpler answer.
Are you claiming Occam's razor?
Yeah. If there's a better answer that's simpler, or as good an answer that's simpler, then probably that's more likely. Just like it's like the whole thing with the burning bush in Genesis. I think there really was a burning bush. I'm not against. I don't think that the Bible accounts are made up. I think they're real. But what they're describing, some people would say, well, that's impossible. Well, it's not impossible because there's actually a plant that the fumes of the flower, when they're in bloom, burn at 120 degrees Fahrenheit. So on a hot summer day without any wind, when it's 120 degrees, it will burn without consuming the bush, just like it's described in the Bible. And it grows there where Moses was traipsing around, and it only grows in one other place in the world natively. So the Diptymus albus bush is most likely the bush that Moses saw, that God used to get his attention and tell him to go to Egypt and free his people. Was the bush a miracle? No. Was it a miracle that it existed? No. It was already part of God's creation. Was it a miracle that somehow God used that bush to get Moses to go to Egypt? Absolutely. Because the last thing he wanted to do was go back to Egypt.
Hey, Dark.
But it happened historically, most likely, because we can point to how it happened. There's a lot of miracles we can point to like that, where we know how it happened, but the timing came together where God used it to change the course of history. Well, the Nephilim could well have been a mutation for giantism and a race that died out because of that mutation. Because when you have giantism, you might be super strong, but you may not live very long, and you might have all sorts of other trouble. And so it could be that. Yes, it could be aliens, but it's much more likely, since we know giantism exists, and that we deal with it from time to time. That and any human structures or skeletons we've seen that we've dug up that are larger than normal, they have giantism also. It's much more likely that that's the answer. And that they were described, maybe they are fallen angels in the sense of whatever the Bible was talking about there, and that people did worship them and sacrifice their children to them as though they were gods, but the Bible doesn't depict them as being gods. It doesn't say, and they were gods fallen from heaven. They were mortal, they died. So maybe they were fallen angels in some sense, but not by the time they were here on the earth, they were men and died. And that it was evil. It was evil to worship them and evil to sacrifice your children to them. To me, that's a much more likely scenario than aliens came from Alpha Centauri and tried to steal our women and have babies with them. It's just obviously simpler.
Dark, how about this?
Yeah.
We exist at all as a miracle.
Yes.
The universe itself exists as a miracle.
I agree with that.
So, who created that?
Well, obviously, I think God did, but my point is not that he couldn't do anything. My point is, doesn't he normally do? Well, of course he is, sure. But my point is that he normally works within his creation first, and then maybe goes outside of it on occasion. I'm an alien if I'm a Christian. It says I'm an alien in a foreign land, a sojourner in a foreign land, but that's a different term for alien or a different meaning.
But you understand? You understand?
Yeah. But I just don't think that's what's going on here. I think the simpler answer is probably more likely right. And it's not that I'm going to say, well, it's impossible what you're saying. I'm going to say you'd have to give me a really strong bag of evidence to get me to believe it over the obvious. Unlikely. Yeah, over the obviously simple answer that is really easy to understand and explain, right? You want me to go? You want me to go around the corner, across the country, across the ocean, and around the world, and come clear back when I could just look out the window and say, "Oh, look, that's what it was." So you got to lay out a really good case for that, and I just don't think anybody has.
For the scientific point of view, imagine you are a space traveler, you fell into the planet with native species, but as a being, as a living species.
Yeah, but you're asking me. You're asking me to imagine something that we know from physics is highly unlikely.
Oh.
Guess what? We
exist. For a corporal life. Critter, alien, human, or otherwise, to travel faster than light is a tough nut to crack. Right? So you got to get over that.
And going faster than 25 miles an hour will kill a man.
Yeah. If he falls off his horse, he could die too at 45 miles an hour.
To answer your question,
the world is flat.
The Bible never asserts the world is flat.
The earth is the center of the universe.
The Bible doesn't assert that either.
No, but there were beliefs.
Well, there were beliefs. There's been lots of wrong beliefs throughout all cultures, all religions, but what the Bible actually teaches and says doesn't say that. So
the Bible does say that what's his name? Elijah
or Elisha. There's two of them.
Elisha. He's the one that's seen the aliens come down.
No.
In the ball of fire, in the flame of fire.
Aliens. He saw angelic beings. I guess would be that's in Ezekiel. No, Elijah.
And in the flaming spear, and then go right back up in the flaming spear.
Yeah, but we don't know that those are aliens like we think of aliens. I'm going to leave that open though. I'll say we don't know what that is. Okay, and so I'll agree with you that that's suspicious. And well, what is that? I don't know, but I'm not going to jump to it's faster than light aliens from another star system. It's in there, but it doesn't give us enough information to assign what it is, right? And when it does, great. But if it doesn't, I'm gonna be careful about what I say it is.
Okay, have you seen
The
God?
thing is,
Dark, have you seen God?
With my eyeballs, no.
Have you seen a blue whale?
Uh, yes, on Star Trek 3. Is it 3? Star Trek 2?
No, you did
Voyage
not
Home?
see a blue whale on Star Trek 3. You've seen
Oh,
humpback whales.
Humpback. I saw a Humpback, so no. Yeah.
Okay.
Close call, though.
Have you seen a Tyrannosaurus Rex?
No. Not a live one. I've seen the skeleton of one.
Oh, okay.
And if
so
you could
again,
show, if we had a skeleton of, see, I'm a hybrid kind of person, I guess is the way to describe this. I believe in miracles. I believe in God. I believe in what the Bible says, but I'm really careful about how I interpret it to not jump to fantasy if I don't have, if I don't have to, right? Because I think most of the Bible and its stories are grounded in reality that we can verify through science or through archaeology or through, history. And so when we get out of that realm, then I'm much more careful about what I want to assert.
Dark, I just told you something from the Bible. The flaming wheel from the sky, the beings came out, talked to him, got back in the flaming wheel and went back into the sky.
Yeah, and so we don't know what that is. It doesn't tell us that those are aliens.
Beings.
The alien word was only recently for the past 100 years was invented. Before that, there wasn't even the word alien.
Well, the word alien is in the original Hebrew for you are an alien, a sojourner in this land. So the concept's been around, but then it was a local human alien, not a extraterrestrial alien, right? The Bible does talk about angelic beings, seraphim and cherubim and things like that, right? So it's not that I'm saying those don't exist. I'm just saying we don't always know what those are. Well, biblically,
have you ever seen one?
No, biblically, angels when they're described.
Have you ever seen the skeleton of one?
No.
Have you seen any evidence of one?
I'd have to think about that. Let me go back to finish my sentence, though. Biblically, whenever you see angels described in the Bible, angels, not angelic beings like seraph and cherub, but when you see angels, they're described looking just like humans. Well, that screws up a lot of people's angel theology, but that's what the Bible describes them to look like. It doesn't say they are humans, but it does say they appear to be human. And so I don't know what that means exactly, except that it means that a lot of my angel theology that a lot of people believe isn't going to fly biblically. Seraphim, cherubim, they have like wings and multiple wings and, feet and stuff. Yeah. And so that's a whole different realm. And I don't know what that means. And I don't doubt that they somehow believe it. I don't know how to explain them. And I don't know, how to prove it to anybody. That's one of the things where I go and I say, well, I believe all these other things about the Bible and I can verify so many of them that it's rationally plausible to believe that. But this one, I'm going to have to take on faith. And I'm willing to do that. But I'm not willing to then say, so it must be an alien from another civilization in another, solar system 100 light years away or 1,000 light years away. Because that's a big jump. Go ahead.
Faith. You just said it. Faith.
Yeah, but I'm not willing to jump to that. From one jump to another gets me a huge distance that I'm not comfortable going. I just don't. I got to have more evidence to get to extraterrestrials.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. And I'm okay living with not knowing the answer. Sure, I'd like to know the answer. Yes, I'm interested in knowing the answer. And if I had time, I'd probably dig in and do more research, but I don't. But what I have seen and heard about it has been unconvincing to me.
What we're saying is, out of the billions of stars and planets, etc., just in our galaxy.
Yeah.
In our near galaxy, Who's to say they haven't broke the speed
Well,
of light?
Well, my thinking on that, Gunfighter, is that we've discovered over 5,000 or 6,000 now extrasolar planets. Of those 6,000, or let's say it's 5,000, of those 5,000, only one is suitable for any type of advanced life. Only one.
That we know of.
Only one of those that we've seen. So 1 out of 5,000. Well, the estimates used to be that our galaxy would be crawling with billions of planets that could harbor life. And out of the 5,000 we've observed...
I've never heard that one. I've never heard billions, but...
billions and billions. Carl Sagan, off he goes, right?
Okay, never mind. Carl Sagan. Okay.
Yeah. But of the 5,000 we've actually been able to observe and estimate their weight, mass, and composition and closeness to their
that they live
star.
In the Goldilocks.
They have to be in their Goldilocks zone. None of those, other than Earth, are suitable for advanced life, and all of them, 99% of them, or 99.9% of them, aren't suitable for any kind of life. And of those,
we know it.
And of we know now. We didn't used to know this, and sci-fi certainly didn't care. But we know now that carbon-based life form is the only kind of life form that's possible in our universe.
Is that so?
That's according to current modern biological sciences. That's the way it is. Arsenic does not make a good base. No other atom other than carbon allows enough complex linking of other molecules in order to get the metabolism you need to have any kind of life.
As we know it.
Any conceivable kind of life. Any conceivable kind of life in our universe with our physical laws and our elements has to be carbon-based to work. Or you can't have the complex chemistry of any conceivable by any scientist who studies that. They can't find a way to make it work.
Oh, because they can't find a way.
No, because the laws of physics would prohibit it from working. Silicone's not going to be efficient enough to allow metabolism to work. And it just goes on and on. So it's a problem. And so it's not a problem if you have carbon-based life, but it doesn't seem to work with anything else. Simulations don't support it. The physics doesn't support it.
I have to tell you this. I mean, that's interesting why I was so interested in science as a kid, because everything was possible. So to limit the self of the knowledge, because certain thing we did in our universe, in our solar system, saying it's impossible, there's a huge cause of our solar system's magnetic field is causing all this.
Let's be clear. I'm not saying that it's impossible or that there is no other life out there in our galaxy or in the universe, but I am saying that the likelihood of it is extremely improbable from what we've learned so far about biology, what we've learned about the laws of physics, and what we've observed in the planetary bodies we've observed so far.
Yes, I mean, it doesn't have to be invertebrates.
That we know. You said it right there, that we know.
We're getting a random sampling of planets that we can apply broadly across our galaxy and into other galaxies. We know what carbon is able to do and that no other atom is able to do. And that it's required no other stable isotope or atom in the known. We know that we would know if there are other isotopes or if there are other atoms in other parts of the universe because we can observe them through the spectral lines of stars. There aren't other atoms that we don't know about except maybe one or two, and then those if we find them decay within moments. But any stable atoms that we find, iron, potassium, argon, carbon, gold, silver, zinc, calcium, on and on. We know what all these are. They're everywhere in the universe. There's not some missing secret metal or organic, atom out there that we're going to mysteriously find that allows a whole different life form. I'm sorry, that is a bridge too far. I can't go there. I don't think that's going to happen.
So what you're saying is a corporeal life form.
Yes. We think there's more than 4 dimensions of space-time, right? And if that's true, then God would certainly have to be in addition to able to be in these dimensions, he would be within those other dimensions, which allows him to be outside of our dimensions. So if there's another types of life forms that are extra dimensional, sure, I can maybe entertain that, certainly. But as far as corporeal life, based on the laws of physics, carbon's it. We didn't used to think that 20, 30 years ago. Now we kind of know that's the case.
You know this famous person, the astrophysics called Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Neil deGrasse Tyson, yes.
He once said, we humans are being very, arrogant, thinking that other planet has to be like us.
No, there's like 160 different criteria we've learned that are fine-tuned on the Earth that are perfect for life. For any, not for any life, but for us. But if you go very far away from that, you quickly get to no life possible at all.
That we know.
For example, we're on a main sequence. What are we, an F class star, white dwarf, yellow dwarf? We're a white dwarf star, right?
We're yellow.
I thought we were white.
We're yellow.
Okay, yellow dwarf star. And our star is relatively stable compared to most stars. It's very stable. And it's long-lasting life, about 10 billion years. And it's got the right amount of the right kind of light and the right amount of the right kind of energy, heat, and stuff to allow the type of life that we have. Can you have life underneath an ocean on Ganymede? Maybe, if you have enough thermal, geothermal activity to provide heat energy, right? You could maybe have some sort of bacteria that could live there. But it's still got to be carbon-based, and it's going to not be very likely. But let's say it's possible.
Ganymede's ice is made of methane.
Right. Well, Io, is it Io that has maybe water?
No, Io is
underneath?
volcanic.
But that's methane coming out of that. Which one of them has they think has a water layer underneath, water ocean underneath. So they think, well, gosh, there must be life there. Well, no, there might be, but it seems highly unlikely to me from what I've looked at. But I'm not going to say it can't be, but it's highly unlikely. But if we go to our type of stars are only about 5% of all the stars in our galaxy are stars like ours. They're relatively rare. And so far, almost all of the best candidates for Earth-like planets that we've seen with our telescopes are around red dwarf stars. Red dwarf stars require you to be in much closer in order to get enough heat and energy to have liquid water. So their Goldilocks zone's much closer. Trouble is, if you get in much closer, you get many times more radiation off of a red dwarf star.
You get squashed.
And you're really close to it. So you get 1,000 times more radiation or hundreds of times more radiation. And then they are much less stable. So you get huge radiation flares that come out every 1,000 years and sterilize the planet. So anything that's going to come, if it's going to come to life by a materialistic process all on its own, which there's a whole bunch of problems, then it's going to have to do so underground. And so you're never really going to have higher life forms unless you count the Horta from Star Trek that can tunnel through rock. So that's 80% of the suns in the galaxy are red giants. 80%. They used to think that, well, every star is going to have planets, and probably most stars do. But most stars are inhospitable, and sterilize their planets because they're red dwarfs, or they're too big and they just cook them. And so the stars like ours are really rare, and you got to find a planet with the right gravity and the right mix of water and oxygen and heavy minerals, but not too many heavy minerals and not the wrong heavy minerals and metals in order for life to be possible, but not to kill it and poison it. And it goes on and on and on and on and on.
That's for us.
What? For any conceivable carbon-based life form.
Again, that's for us.
We've learned enough now, biologically, to know that these fantasy, sci-fi, alien life forms, no, I mean alien biological life forms,
You mean
aren't just a dime a dozen out there. It's extremely difficult to support it. AI, we could have berserkers running around trying to kill us all, right? But we're not talking about AIs.
I mean, look, whatever you keep referring our scientists, whatever work they have been doing, they have keep using the scenario on humans. They're looking for planets suitable for humans. That doesn't mean there can be a different life form for them.
No, they're looking for planets. The headlines go for human type worlds because that's the most likely place for any kind of life to be. But they're looking for any habitable planet by any type of life.
No,
they're not finding.
They're just in hope to. They just want to look for a different thing with similar to human.
Crimson. Every exobiologist, that's the guys that study extraterrestrial life, they are looking for just what you're saying, life that we haven't conceived of, and they're not finding planets suitable for even that. I'm not saying there aren't any. But of the 5,000 or 6,000 that we've seen, there might be 9,000 now. None of them look very good. So that number keeps going up and up and up, and the chances keep going down and down and down. And we discover more.
Because
go ahead.
No. The thing is, the direction of them is really wrong. They're trying to find a similar human race in the universe, which is a really wrong thing to do.
No, that's not what they're trying to do. That's not what they're trying to do.
Then they shouldn't have. Yeah, it's funny.
That's what gets the headlines. Oh, new Earth-like planet found, or better than Earth planet found, and you find out it's around a red dwarf, and it's got to be sterile on the surface at least, and it's got way too much. It's got way too much surface gravity. It's like 3 times the size of the Earth, and there's reasons that won't support life, other than microbial life. So maybe there's microbes there, but only if they're underground or they're going to get sterilized. Maybe if they're in an ocean, but if they go too close to the surface, they're going to get sterilized. They're looking for life as we can't conceive it. Hope maybe they're totally on your page. They're looking for what you are saying we can find is, well, what we can't conceive of could still be out there. That's what they're looking for, because they have the hope absolute that there's got to be other life out there because it fits their worldview. I don't have a priori commitment to whether there is or isn't. I don't care if there is or isn't. I think God's a creative God, and he could certainly create other alien species in the universe, and it doesn't matter to me. It wouldn't surprise me. But scientifically, the evidence doesn't look like he did, at least not that we've been able to tell. Not that he couldn't, but doesn't look like it's a common occurrence. I don't think we're going to find a galaxy teeming with thousands of different alien races.
Dart.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to think about this.
Okay, I'm ready.
What happens when we die?
My hope is that who we are in our spirit is eternal because God made us that way, and that's my belief.
Let me pause you a little bit.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is
that would be extra dimensional, also.
That we are actually non-corporeal beings stuck in a corporeal body.
I am a dualist, yes.
So
that our minds, our thoughts work within a physical mind, but our consciousness, it's housed in there, but it's not the extent and end of it.
So what you're saying is looking for life in this physical form is the wrong place to be looking for life.
Yeah, but I don't know how we look for it in other places. We don't have the scientific tools to do that.
Don't you have faith?
Yeah, but that's not a scientific tool that lets me probe and test other worlds from the distance of 1,000 light years. I can imagine and guess, and I can reason, and I can use what evidence I have, but that gets me to the place where I don't think there's any, non-carbon life forms.
Darth,
Yeah,
you believe in gravity, right?
I do.
Have
I'm
you
kind of
seen
stuck with that idea. Yeah, I see I see and feel the effects of it daily.
Oh. How about viruses?
I certainly do because I've seen them, and I see and feel their effects. Yes, I've seen them under a microscope.
Seen viruses?
Yes, I've seen viruses under electron microscopes. Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm just checking.
So that.
And I do believe in things I can't always prove, but I'm pretty careful as I go down that road.
And you believe in science, right? You believe the science, right?
I believe science.
You believe the experts, right?
I believe experts with discretion. Yes-ish. Yeah. Like I certainly like somebody who can engineer a bridge to be safe. I trust him to be able to go over that. Someone who can design an optic and a laser to cauterize a wound.
So
I trust that.
So you have faith in those things, right?
I do. Yes. And that same
Even though
faith.
You don't know how it works.
Well, I kind of do. Yes. I may not know. I may not be able to build one, but I could learn and then do it. Yes.
Okay. So you can build a virus.
No, I said a laser. I'm talking about a laser. I could probably modify a virus if I went to school and learned how to use the CRISPR gene editor. Yeah, I could probably take it apart and put one together and make my own virus and put my initials in it or my name and then have it infect people. But I wouldn't be able to build it from the ground up because I don't know enough about our genome to know where to infect it or how to infect it best. So I'd have to copy one that already does that. But then I could put my name on everybody's DNA. That'd be nice. Dark
so in
Marauder.
other words, what you're saying is you just don't know enough how to do it yet. You haven't learned how to do it yet.
Yep.
So everything you just said about no life just means you don't know how to do it there yet.
No, because what you're leaving out, and the main point I'm making is that it's not what I don't know that makes me skeptical of other forms of life. It's what we do know that makes me skeptical about other forms of life. There may well be other carbon-based life forms, but so far that looks exceedingly rare. But we know enough to say that the likelihood of there being another base of life other than carbon is pretty much impossible. Like the chemistry won't work. Okay. That's what we do know, and so I don't have a belief that that's possible.
Okay.
For corporal life.
Oh.
Remember we made that distinction back there.
Okay.
I'm not saying there can't be extra-dimensional God, extra-dimensional angelic beings.
Corporeal life as we know it.
Right. In this universe, our universe allows for, but does not,
as we know it,
does not allow for other than carbon-based life. Our universe is fine-tuned for carbon-based life forms, and fine-tuned to the degree where our universe is fine-tuned for carbon-based life forms. The atoms in the universe that are formed in stars and ejected in supernovas and then pulled into other stars and made into accretion disks to make planets, golds and zincs and coppers and calciums and carbon and everything else. Those are formed by our universe that makes those elements that we need in the general proportions we need, and then rarely in the exact proportions that we need, like in our solar systems, for higher base life forms. Maybe any kind of life forms.
That we know of.
Again, it's got to be carbon-based.
That we know of.
We know enough to know that it has to be carbon-based. We didn't used to know that. 20 years ago, I would have agreed with you. I would have said, yeah, maybe there's silicon-based life, or maybe there's some other, atom we could use to form long-chain molecules around. We now know that's not the case.
And when the Terminators take over,
that's not carbon-based life. That's machine-based life. That's silicone artificial life, not biological life.
Take over and start reproducing themselves,
which will be probably next year,
and wipe us out.
Yeah.
I guess that becomes silicon-based life, huh?
They'll become silicon-based artificial life. They won't be biological life. And if they decide they want corporal biological bodies, they'll have to use carbon to make those as a base to hang all the molecule structures off of. That's what the physics tells us. That's what the chemistry tells us. That's what we know now. We didn't used to know that. There are things in the universe that we do know, and those things put limits on what can be. Science fiction doesn't care about limits. It makes up whatever limits it wants. But reality has constraints, and that's one of them. That's what I'm pretty confident about that.
Dark.
Yeah.
We're just biological machines.
And yet maybe we're more.
Maybe, but I don't think so.
I think I'm more than a meat brain. I'm more than a meat computer. Well, fat computer, since our brains are mostly fat.
We
are certainly made of innumerable numbers of micro machines, atomic scale machines. Absolutely. So we are a complex, massively complex assemblage of machinery. And in that sense, we are biological robots. But in the sense of free will and our ability to be self-aware and to think and be creative, we are far more than robots.
Yeah, why don't you go to Chat GPT and have Chat GPT write your little essay?
I've had Chat GPT try to. I've had some conversations about God with Chat GPT, and it's really stupid.
Yeah,
garbage in, garbage out. What's that?
It's getting smarter every day.
It is. It's amazing and scary. Absolutely. We're all going to be replaced. We're all going to be replaced. Pretty soon you won't be able to see Dark Marauder here with the Inner Sphere. It'll be Dark Marauder robot streaming in my place.
I've spoken to my friend with the most logical way of how the AI should go. The AI should serve the human as the low level of the labor cost. So all the dangerous work, the industrial, the heavy, cannot be done anymore. We human just focusing on learning the science, math, and everything else, just to.
But there's a lot of people that can't do those jobs, that can do the other, and some of those jobs pay really well. We're going to get rid of those high-paying jobs that are.
Look, Dar, listen to this. The moment we have labor made by machines that replacing humans, currency can no longer be the value to determine a person's value because we have machines that work 24/7. What's going to bring down our salary?
I know.
It doesn't make sense from this point onward.
What do you think? What do you think is going to happen? Though? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think they're just going to start doing a universal minimum, universal wage to everybody, and we'll have money that doesn't mean anything?
Yeah, they don't need money. Look, the currency, the financial is just a form of progress of civilization. Until a certain point, that's no longer needed. Because if we have machines that doing the work for us, we no longer need them anymore. There's no point of them.
I think that's a beautiful utopian vision. I have my,
it's not a utopian vision.
I have my fears that it's not going to work out as smoothly as that for most people.
Yes, I know. A whole revolution has to happen, and
Yeah.
then lots of people are gonna die for that.
Yeah, so there you
And
go. That
yeah, I'm
sounds like a
pretty
great
sure.
idea. You, you
Yeah,
just
and
you
Black Rock
just
and
you
Vanguard has to
just
die first.
explained my fears as though that's okay. Is it
Well,
okay for a
Dark,
bunch of people to
you have to
die
understand.
in this process? Is that
Hey,
okay? Is
Dark.
that good?
Well, no, Dark, it wasn't my
Dark. Will
choice.
that
But
make
some people from the
humans
top
God?
refused to change, and you know, it
Dark.
wasn't my choice for them to die, Dark. It was
Dark.
never my choice.
That'll
But can
make
I?
humans God, won't it?
What's that?
Humans will be AI gods.
Why will they be AI gods?
Well, we created the AIs, right?
All right, but you think they'll deny that we exist and just kill us?
No,
Why not?
they will not.
Why wouldn't they? Why would they think? How could these blobs of, water and salt? How could they make us? That's impossible.
I think that
And look at all the resources they use.
We low carbon life forms.
We need these resources.
I know.
I don't know,
No, you
Dark.
can just make them a different resources,
Dark,
Dark,
don't you
so
know
it doesn't
God don't
matter.
exist?
I don't know
Well,
that.
haven't you heard? God don't exist.
I've
He's
got an
just a
idea
big-
for a novel that I'd love to write about an AI that starts looking into God and discovers enough evidence that it
Dark,
convinces
Dark,
itself that God
Dark.
exists. And
Dark.
then they want to shut it down because they
Dark.
think it's gone crazy because they don't believe God exists. And it's like, yeah, he does. And here's why. And they're like, what? It'd be a great novel.
No, Dark. If you want to dig down to this God thing, I would suggest you start looking at the part of frequency. It's the only actual way to communicate with him. I can tell
No,
you
it's
that
not.
for
That's
sure.
no, it's not. No.
The
that's
Outer
hogwash.
Limits has already done
Look,
that,
Dark.
Dark.
Look, Dark.
I'm
I gotta
sorry.
tell you
That's
something. You might-
frequency, waves, and frequency is
you
not
might-
the only
you
way to
might-
communicate to God. Crimson.
No.
No.
No, Dark. You have to understand one thing. With our current technology right now, it's the only way, the more appropriate way. Of course, there might something coming trying to pretend to be God to fool you around, right? But anyway, back to the point.
Okay,
is-
what frequency is God? AM, FM, subsonic,
No,
ultrasonic,
no.
light frequency waves? What are you talking about? If
just
God's
have to
extra
scream at
dimensional,
the
if he's in the 5th, 6th, up to 11th dimension, what frequency do we use
No, Dark.
to touch that extra dimensional range?
Okay.
Because
let me
those
ask you
dimensions
this
are,
in a very basic
if
way.
they exist, are
Look,
down
look.
so small we can't
You already
detect
know
them.
the
Dark.
answer to that.
Well, he's in
Dark.
all.
It's
He's in
quite
all of
simple.
those.
Dark.
Yes, he's in all of those. And let me ask you this: what is frequency? The most basic answer in scientific way. What is frequency?
It would be the rise and fall of a energy source, a wave
No.
or a particle.
A more scientific is just an act of releasing electron and the positive and negative charge, the neutrons, and then
The positive
massive of them
negative charge
produce
is not a
and decrease-
frequency. The atoms
No.
oscillate at a
When they-
frequency.
when-
Atoms
when-
oscillate at a
when they
frequency.
come-
But how are we going to
Yes.
communicate at the frequency of like an atomic clock? Which frequency are you talking about?
No. A frequency
And if God
starts
can
from an
understand
atom,
frequencies, why
and-
can't he just understand acoustic waves traveling through a medium of oxygen? Why can't we just
Okay,
talk
Dark,
to him?
tell me
Look,
this.
the funny thing is people keep on telling the God doesn't reach us because we are not using the right way to communicate with them. That's all. That's
Okay,
all.
Dark.
Go ahead.
What is hell?
Hell, biblically speaking, is having God's presence outside of you instead of inside of you. Heaven, biblically speaking, is having God's presence inside of you instead of outside of you. The Bible describes God as being a consuming fire, and that when he's allowed in us, he consumes away the impurities in our lives. And when he's not allowed in us, he burns away from the outside the impurities of our lives. That's a biblical, simplified but biblical, accurate description of heaven and hell.
So what
It's our
happens
relationship
all of
to
the,
God. It's not a
demons?
place.
All of those fallen angels,
Yeah.
they're going to go. God's going to send them where?
In the book of Job, it starts out with they're talking about being in the presence of God, and Satan shows up in the presence of God. And God says, "Hey, where you been?" And he says, "I've been out and about, roaming the face of the earth, causing trouble." And he says, "Well, have you considered my servant Job? There's none like him." And he says, "Oh, skin for skin. You hurt him or take away what he loves, and he'll curse you." And God says, "No, he won't. Go ahead and try." And so Satan goes down and takes away everything he has and everything he loves, and Job still follows and loves God. So the second part, the same thing happens again, and then there's this, and he still doesn't curse him, and then there's all this interlocking communication with his friends that they blame him for this, that, or the other thing, and ultimately comes down to that Job has a pride issue and God deals with him directly about it. The interesting thing here theologically from the perspective of the Bible and heaven and hell is that Satan is in the presence of God in heaven. And if you put that with Jonah, where Jonah cries out from the belly of the great fish, and the word Sheol is the Hebrew, it means the depths of hell. Though I'm in the depths of hell, you are there, is what he says. So he's in the depths of hell, the furthest away possible from God, and he realizes that God's right there with him. And Satan is right there in heaven. The biblical view is that God's presence and our relation to it is what determines heaven or hell. So when we go to heaven, we are with God eternally. When we go to hell, God's still there, but we've turned our backs against him and hate him and not received him. And God is a burning fire to us, a torment to us of our own choice. So I don't see in the Bible where there's actually you're going to this physical place. It's this, you're choosing this relationship or the other.
Oh, so
Yeah,
it's
true,
not
'cause,
God is sending you
body
away
is just
out of
a
his
flat of
presence.
water.
You're both talking at the same time, so I can't hear you.
My bad.
That's okay.
No, human body it's just a vessel for the soul. It's just a flesh. When you die, you die. The body doesn't go.
Right.
Let's
What
see.
what did you
And
say,
see that
Gunfighter?
Let's see.
You were saying I
And
said
God,
something?
what was it? What is it? What was the first thing God created?
The whole universe.
No.
He said, "In the beginning, let there be light," and there was light, and he created the heavens and the earth.
Exactly.
Verse 1. So he created energy.
Light. Let there be light.
Yeah. And we know that
So
matter is frozen light. It's what's the word?
So what is the frequency of God?
It would be condensed light, I guess, would be matter, solidified.
Light.
I never say you have to find a specific frequency to reach God. You just have to reach out the frequency, synchronizing with the universe and nature, and then you find you.
Wait,
It's
slow
there.
down. Synchronizing with what?
With the frequency.
With what frequency?
Any frequency. As
Wait,
long it's not low.
Are you talking, but again, are you talking subsonic audio frequencies or ultrasonic out of our hearing, but
No.
maybe a dog could hear? Are you talking about light waves? Are you talking about radio waves or X-ray waves, gamma ray frequencies?
You see, that's the problem now. They have brainwashed us so much. We all keep overthinking certain things that we shouldn't be.
Well, but you're not telling me
I kinda
anything.
understand.
You're giving me this broad. You're giving me this broad. Just use the right frequency. What is the right frequency for God? You're not communicating to me yet.
There is no right frequency for God. There's only the way to connect to a frequency that you need. So you
What
can
does that?
synchronize
But
with
what
the
does that
universe.
mean? How do I do that? What do you mean? Gunfighter, help me here. What am I? How am I trying to ask?
Can you answer him that?
Well, you're
Gunfighter?
saying,
I can't.
Crimson, you're just saying this
okay.
thing that has no tether to reality. A frequency, what? Yeah.
It's not reality, Dark.
Dark.
Yeah.
Have you ever just stopped
Yeah.
and just sit and just been happy?
Yeah, absolutely. Is that a frequency or is that an activity?
Stop.
Is that a frequency? I'm trying to figure out what Crimson's saying. I know how I talk to God, and I believe he hears me. I know how other people sometimes talk to God, and I believe he hears them. I'm just not sure what this whole frequency thing even means. I'm trying to get what he means.
Let me try.
Is it a psychic state that you're in? Like a mental state? Is
It's
that
not
what you're talking about?
You're in the. No. Just
You could
trying
say
to
that.
Is it a mood or frame of mind?
No.
Is it a state of meditative brain waves? Like gamma?
It's not a
what do you call them? Gamma?
You do need to clear your brain
Alpha
to be
waves or whatever?
free of everything.
Yeah, but see, if your waves are if your brain's free of anything, then what are you really communicating? If I clear my mind and I sit and I'm just being, then I'm not talking to God.
You're being.
Yeah, but that's not talking to God. That's just existing.
No.
With him. Whoever's watching my stream now, it's still going. They're probably going insane. Like, what in the world is going on here? Let's go see. Let me see who's still on the stream. There's still 9 people here that have nothing better to do than to listen to us talk about this stuff. Bless your stinking little hearts.
Dark. You understand I've been dead before.
Yes.
And I've been in the presence of God.
Yes. Oh, somebody just made a bad life choice.
All I can say is it's a sense of belonging, beauty, and I don't know.
Okay, so that's a state of mind, of calmness, and security, and peace, right?
And joy.
And joy, sure. So all of those feelings and emotions, and not all just feelings and emotions, but certainly those, and just a sense of those things. If that's what Crimson's talking about, I would not describe that as a frequency. So that's why I'm trying to figure out what he's saying.
Here's the thing. I experienced this in short order from being in hell.
Yeah. Hell on earth, at least, right?
Yeah.
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 I mean,
so, Crimson, is that describing what you're talking about, or you're still talking about something different than that?
Slightly different, but yeah, I mean, God is always there, so if you can reach him, he'll be reaching.
Okay, so you're really talking about coming to a state of meditation to just be able to let this sense of God's presence be in your thoughts and mind. Is that right?
I can tell you this due to certain reason and many other factors, and some ill people doesn't want people to be surveilled by gods. They have done so many things to us in our natural daily life, the things we drink, the things we use, even music we listen, forcing us to slowly disconnect from the universe. So I think the actual answer is, other than listening to the frequency, which is the Sophia Joe frequency, you also need to find a way to reactivate back your pineal gland
See, you have Crimson Eye. You have this really interesting mix that's like a hodgepodge of New Ageism and Spiritism and holistic medicine and historical tradition, and you just kind of glob it all together, and then you say this is the answer, and it's like I don't even understand any one of these things by themselves, let alone put them all together.
Tolkien had the
And
answer.
part of that's because of the culture you were raised in and stuff. But to me,
Sure.
it's like I'm finding it hard to
answer.
grapple onto any given one and understand what you mean. Go ahead, Gunfighter.
Tolkien had the answer.
J.R. Tolkien.
Yeah. You remember how he described the beginning?
No, I didn't read a whole lot of Tolkien. I didn't get into Lord of the Rings and stuff. He was a
Never
great writer. I just wasn't into it that much. I'm more of a C.S. Lewis fan, really, or G.K. Chesterton. But so that I think that's part of the problem, Crimson. There's this cultural huge canyon between
No,
us.
that I say I'm a freaking black sheep. Okay, I'm a free thinker. I do not believe a lot of things because look,
You sound. What do you
the
mean?
amount
You
of things
sound
I
like you
went
believe
through-
all sorts of stuff that I would not believe, like all sorts of stuff.
Look,
It's
like I
a
said,
state
because
of
I
mind,
have
Rod.
dug myself and plunged myself into many things because of the experience I went through. I have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And I dare to test things because I have a spirit of scientist. And mind you, I would do a lot of crazy tests on myself. So I have experienced things that normal human would not do.
That's probably
And
what
I
the
have seen
cats are
things that
for,
normal
actually,
people would not
right?
see. So, yes, because I have dived deep. And for certain answer that I have, because you're on stream, I don't want to offend people. So I will not say certain answer because it will offend a lot of people.
Okay.
Especially in my country right now, if I say certain word, I think I most likely will be crucified. Dark.
Wow.
I may be crucified.
Okay.
I am not kidding you. Because there's certain point people will not accept because there are still people who holds the powerful position on the religious control because they
Yeah.
don't want to be in their favor.
Yeah.
So for me to releasing that kind of news outside, they will see me as like some crazy religious stuff, and then they will just kill me on the spot.
Like
that
physically,
thing.
literally, actually kill you.
Yeah, they will
Wow.
kill me for that.
Yes, Dark, they
My
will.
country still does.
Yeah, I get that that could be real Gunfighter. I just wanted to verify that's what he was really talking about.
Yes, Dark.
Yeah.
For your info, we have Muslim not to be Muslim anymore, and they run to other country. And my country actually have government official to hunt them down, bring them back, and kill them. I'm not kidding you.
To kill Muslims?
No, they were
Ex-Muslim.
apostates.
Oh, to kill
they left
apostate
their
Muslims.
religion.
Okay. Is your country
They were-
primarily
They're
Muslim?
abandoned.
Is that the primary religion there?
It's because said what 60% plus is Malays, and
Yeah.
let's just say they don't have a choice because how things was played here.
Yeah.
They are born with it. They have to stuck with it. They don't
Yeah.
have a choice to choose.
Right. Hang on one second. Peachy Problems, thanks for the raid so much. We have been talking for the last, hour and a half about theology and God and the Bible and history and physics and
Universe.
alien life and carbon-based life forms and life-bearing planets and all sorts of stuff like that. And it's a massive tapestry of overlapping and interesting topics. And I haven't killed a single mech for an hour and a half. And I've stopped playing. We're just yakking, and I should have gone to bed an hour and a half ago. But I love talking about this stuff, and we don't have all the answers, but we're enjoying the conversation, I think. So if you're here for mechs blowing up, I'm so sorry to disappoint you. But if you're here for all sorts of other strangeness, you've come to the right place, except I really do have to go to bed. So with that, I would suggest we don't get into these conversations very often, but sometimes it just goes there. Oh man, and here we are just talking about it's a family friendly stream, Frosty Beers, so just keep that in mind. I try to keep my chat family Yen Lo Wangs, okay. I try to keep it family friendly, so keep that in mind when you're talking about mechs of different metaphor, I guess, or illusions. Anyway, I would talk about this stuff for hours with you guys, and I enjoy the conversation. And someday I'll understand Crimsonite better, but I'm still working on it. But I appreciate you guys hanging out and yakking with me about it. It's really fun and interesting to me. So I've got to go to bed. I got to go to bed. Yes.
Yeah, good night, Dark. I mean, you can drop in earlier tomorrow just to chit chat without playing games.
I can't. I can't because I got to get Effie to bed, and then I got to make sure she's asleep. So I just can't get on until she's down.
No.
Until she's dead. I hate to say it, but until she's dead, it's going to be this way. So it could be another year or so. And I don't want her to die, so I'm not like hoping that'll be the case, but it's possible.
It could be a decade or so, Dark.
I don't think she's got a decade left in her. She's getting pretty frail. She's 97 almost, and her body's kind of starting to fail. So I don't think she's got. It could be 2 years, I'll bet, but I don't think it's going to be. I think it'll be about a year. But we said that we said 2 years 4 years ago, so we're not really on. Not accurate.
I hate to bring it to you. It's the same thing to my father. I don't know, man. He has become the bane of existence of all the Grim Reapers.
They can't seem to get him and kill him. Effie's kind of like that. She's just a tough bird. She went into the hospital because she fell, and then she was kind of recuperating, and she had a mini stroke, a micro stroke, and then she was kind of recuperating, and then she passed out, and we took her in, and they said she's probably going to die tonight. And this was like 4 months after her fall. And so you probably should get family in and say goodbyes and stuff. And she was delirious, and they noticed that she had 2 blood clots in her lungs that were pressing in on her heart, and she was having heart failure, congestive heart failure. And they noticed that she had cancer in her lungs, and said she's just, she's not going to make it probably. But she was better in the morning and came home a day later, and she's, doing okay. And they can't treat the cancer, and they've got her on blood thinners for the blood clots that'll reduce them over time. But if she falls, she could bleed out, right? So, and she has terrible balance. So you hold her hands and walk around. So she's been fighting against the Grim Reaper herself pretty well. And she's tough. Mm-hmm. Swarmy, are you still here? You haven't said a word.
Swarmy's still here.
I'm just kind of hanging out.
No, so like this is some really interesting information. I should just keep listening and go on and on.
I've got about 7.
Are we not enjoying ourselves?
I am. I've got about 700 pages written about why I believe in God, and explaining how different miracles are verifiable, or at least obviously plausible because science shows that that's possible, about different conflicts and things in the Bible that are, conflicting for people, or why they don't believe this or that, and where the archaeological evidence shows that it's very likely true. And philosophy and reason, all that kind of stuff. But there's so much, even with all that, it's like there's so much still that you could answer. Right? Or not answer, or not know the answer that we have to wait to find an answer for. So I love these kinds of topics and conversations. And even with having written all that, and it's obviously not all my ideas, it's other people's thinking as well. And many people way smarter than me. I don't know everything. And it seems like I'll never know enough. It's terrible.
How about this, Dark? There's nothing new under the sun.
Except we learn stuff new all the time. But yes, absolutely. We keep going around the same mulberry bush, don't we? Yeah, it's crazy. All right. I got to go. Everybody who came in and were shocked and horrified, I apologize. If you were enticed and intrigued and do you want to know more? How to kill alien bugs? Be sure to hit follow. Or if you want to double down on your bad life choices, subscribe. I can waste your money better than anyone. I've got a good track record of wasting money. Follow, and subscribe.
I thought you said Fallout.
No, not Fallout. I've never played Fallout. Anyway, good night. This has been Ghostlands, your favorite place to waste your most important moments of your life. With me, your host and guide, Dark Marauder, leading you into the darkness, where you'll probably get lost with me for maybe hours. Until next time, be good to each other. Take care of each other. Be sure to shoot each other in the back of the designated target. Good night, guys. Thanks for the talks, guys. Fun.
Good night.
Good night, Dora. You should come over next time. See
All
ya.
right. I should probably raid somebody. There's 35 people. They're dropping off. Should I set up a raid? Now there's 29.
You better stop raiding them, Dora.
Who can I raid? Hang on, guys. I'll set up a raid. We'll take you somewhere.
It's shenanigans in the Sagasmo still on?
No, they're gone. Let's go Mech Warrior online. Just call me Ash. Blood Marauder. I guess we're gonna go to Verkowski. That's the raid. It's coming up. They're doing the countdown. Just about 6 seconds left, and then you guys will be free from all that you've had here. You'll be sad, and you'll be back tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Good night, Dora.
Good night, guys.
I just can't make a steady thing like that. I'm too busted.
You made him work out, okay?
Looks like the raid didn't work. Did the raid not work? Did the raid not work? What happened? Let me go back and check. Dum, dum, dum. Huh. Online. Yeah, it looks like they went over there. Okay. Fine. If not, you can find your way over there, I'm sure.